We'll wait. Live. Awesome. How's everybody doing today?
Not too
I'm
bad.
okay.
Too bad.
Saw 3 billboards in Lady Bird.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did you? Or did you enjoy them?
Both really good. Actually, I kind of agree with you on Lucas Hedges and 3 billboards.
Yeah, I'm
really brought it down.
People are starting to warm up to my perspective on him, and I'm not trying to be mean, and I don't want to I don't have a vendetta against this person, and I'm not trying to single him out, but he's legitimately consistently bringing down the films that he's in.
Mm-hmm.
He's the worst actor every time. And none of this would have happened if he didn't get an Oscar nomination for Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah.
Because the Oscar nomination itself basically puts him in other films.
He's gonna get a role.
Legitimate films, yeah.
Hmm.
So this is all the Academy's fault.
I thought
oh, what a cute little kid. Let's give him an Oscar nom. They do that every fucking year, except this time the little kid was a teenager.
Who are you talking about?
Lucas Hedges.
Lucas Hedges. Okay, I'll look it up.
I thought his character in Lady Bird was good for him though. That kind of.
Oh yeah, up until he started getting emotional or needed to be getting emotional. Yeah. Up until that point, but he was good up until then.
I agree.
Sending out some more invites.
I'm just gonna see if I recognize anything he's been in.
I think Manchester was his first big break. I don't think he's been in anything.
Well, he was in Moonrise Kingdom. He had a pretty.
Oh yeah, he was one of the scouts, right?
But he had a pretty
That's
significant.
Budapest right here.
Yeah, Grand Budapest. He had a very small role. He had a very significant role in Zero Theorem by Terry Gilliam, and he ruined that. That was the first movie he was in where I was like, "You ruined this," because it was the first non-Wes Anderson movie he was in. When Wes Anderson puts him in a movie, he gives them the right role and doesn't expect him to do anything that's out of his range. But then other people see him in Wes Anderson films and they're like, that kid's good. And then they hire him and then they realize, or maybe they will never realize, but I'm hoping they realize that it was just a mistake.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of his stuff. Looking at IMDb. Not even Grand Budapest, which I've meant to see for a while.
He's in a lot of good stuff. He's not a great actor, but he's in a lot of good movies.
The girl from Moonrise Kingdom was also in Manchester.
Oh?
Susie Bishop, the actress.
I don't know who she played in Manchester. But I like the chicken scene where he's mad at the frozen chicken in Manchester. Oh, they're not supposed to go in the freezer. It's supposed to be really emotional.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Casey Affleck the best in that movie. His performance.
He did a great job.
Pretty fantastic.
And if his was he accused of sexual assault or was it
I don't know. I don't know the specifics, but yeah, somewhere
he's accused
in that
of
realm.
something.
Yeah.
And if that happened after Harvey Weinstein, then he wouldn't have an Oscar. Harvey Weinstein was the moment where it's people don't let that shit slip anymore. Post Harvey Weinstein, you're not getting away with it.
Yeah, holy shit. Just one after another, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't Lawrence Bond do something?
Next.
Sorry, what?
$10 says Bill Maher is next.
Why that?
There's no way. Apparently, he used to hang out at the Playboy Mansion a lot, and these are just TMZ rumors. I don't buy into it, but
you don't buy into it, but you're willing to bet, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I have no clear basis to it, but apparently, allegedly, he
by TMZ rumors that you don't buy into.
What?
Apparently, allegedly, by TMZ rumors that you don't buy into, you're willing to bet.
I'm just afraid of just sounding like, oh yeah, he's actually thinks this is truth. It's just rumors, whispers down the lane, but allegedly he has had flings with prostitutes. It is well known that he has gone to the mansion.
That's not illegal.
Times.
I mean, I guess it is illegal, isn't it? Prostitution is illegal. Never mind.
It's illegal.
But I mean, like,
who gives?
I don't know. Fucking everybody in Hollywood has like call girls and shit. I think the big issue is like the sexual assault part or the rape. But if it's like a paid service, then it's not really rape, even though a lot of places consider it illegal. Is prostitution legal in Vegas?
No.
Yes, it's legal in Nevada.
It's legal. It's legal. It's
Okay.
legal in
Yes.
Gotta be.
That's funny. It's like, I don't know. They could probably use statistics from that state to decide how they legislate other states, but America doesn't like doing that.
Wasn't Bob accused of something?
Sorry, what?
Wasn't Lars von Trier accused of like sexual?
Yeah.
Bjork wrote a really long blog post about, without naming him, but saying, a Danish director I worked with. And she's only been in one movie. So it's kind of obvious. But he wasn't accused of like sexual assault. He was just accused of being like emotionally manipulative and abusive. And like I mean, it's a little unclear exactly what she was accusing him of, but it just doesn't seem surprising either way. Lars, okay, I'm a Nazi von Trier.
That was the most awkward thing I've ever watched, and I am not abusing the word awkward.
It's a pretty good clip.
I
understand the man. I understand Hitler. Kirsten Dunst. Or Kristen Dunst or whatever. It's next to him like, please no. Stop.
Oh, yeah?
It's like, she's in hell. She was in a nightmare. We got to witness someone's actual nightmare. That was special. Did anybody check out the disaster artist review I just posted?
Yes.
I was about to say that. Yes.
Yeah. I figured I'd get a couple complaints on that one.
I haven't seen The Room yet, though, so...
Yeah. Some people are like upset that I spoiled the ending, but I don't understand how talking about like the fact that Tommy Wiseau, I've been pronouncing it wrong. I don't understand how the fact that talking about him warming up to the film eventually is a spoiler, because for me to start my review and say The Room is a cult classic that plays at midnight screenings, I've already spoiled that, right? Like, it's impossible to not reveal that it eventually became a cult classic and he warmed up to the film.
I mean, that would be weirder if he, like, never got over it.
Like, and then The Room was never shown in another theater again. Like, okay.
By the way, at the end of the Bible, Jesus dies.
What? Dude, no way. Look. I'm Jewish. I've only been able to read the Old Testament. I haven't gotten that far yet. Damn it.
At the end of the Bible, Jesus shows back up in a cave after 3 days. And they're like, or no, he doesn't show back up in a cave. He disappeared from the cave. It was one of those like weird, I can't explain this one, therefore it must be a miracle things. Where like
pretty much every religion does.
Yeah. They're like, he's gone from the cave, and no one possibly could have moved this boulder, even though we just moved this boulder to check inside the cave.
The funny thing is, he apparently was walking on Earth for 100 days before he ascended to heaven. So wait, let me get this straight. Public enemy number 1 is walking around alive and well for 100 days and nobody notices.
I don't know that part.
Nobody.
I'm just gonna go for a casual stroll after literally coming back from the dead.
Yeah.
Which no one before me ever done. Well, then again, there was Lazarus.
Yeah.
I think there were earlier examples in the Bible of resurrection.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of hogwash in that book.
Hogwash.
Yeah. I haven't used that word in 80 years.
It's a good word.
It is a good word. I like that word.
Mm-hmm. This guy, he has the best words, the greatest words.
I'm telling you, the
Smartest.
greatest words. We got the best words.
How dare Adam insult me by calling me Jewish when I would never insult him and call him too gay to lift? I try so hard to be his friend. Maybe one day that will happen.
So, Justice League is apparently a record flop for DC.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, it's gonna make its money back in the foreign market, but it's not doing nearly as well as they hoped.
As shit as that's actually kind of surprising.
It's actually kind of great because it means that even their fans are like, this isn't good. Like, even their fans are like, why would I see the next one when all of them have been bad? Like, there's some people who are excited for Justice League for some reason. Like, oh yeah, they've made a shit movie every single time, but maybe this time they'll get it right. Zack Snyder's directing this one.
I don't know. Wonder Woman was decent, but I don't think Zack...
That's what I heard, but I don't believe anybody.
I don't think Zack Snyder worked on that one.
Yeah. It's like the most distance he could possibly have away from it. Ugh. I like nicked myself shaving. I didn't even cut myself. It's just like irritated. And it's disgusting. Ugh, I hate that.
That's why I don't clean shave. I just use electric razor.
Whenever I use an electric razor, it bugs the hell out of my skin too. There's nothing I can do.
Doesn't irritate your skin, or at least my skin as much.
It does irritate my skin.
Shaving is a pain in the ass.
Fucking get a new razor blade every 2 days or something.
I grow my facial hair in a weird way. It doesn't... I will never have a beard. Instead, I just have like a few strangly hairs that get way too fucking long.
I shaved my attempt out of a beard a while back, and now I'm just trying to grow it out and see what happens.
Yeah, I don't think I would work with a beard. I think some people think I would, but I don't think I would.
I had a beard up to like here, but I was trying to shave it because it got too thick, and the comb or whatever that I attached fell off, and it just like shaved like this entire part. So I was like, all right, I'll just shave the whole thing so I don't look like Hagrid anymore.
Someone's asking what the next YMS is. My next big video is my 2015 list, which is coming December. And then after that, as much as I was speculating doing something like Old Boy 2013, which I would like to do a lot, but
Spike Lee.
I think I should do one of those ones that I promised I would do and still haven't gotten around to, like The Visit or Walking Dead Season 3. But probably The Visit, because The Walking Dead Season 3 is like a big project.
Didn't you say like maybe Twilight?
I never said I don't think I ever promised that one.
I didn't say promise, but
I don't remember what I said about that. So I don't know.
I mean, easy target.
Is Spotlight going to be on my 2015 list? No. No, it's not. It was a very forgettable movie.
My
The
mom.
subject matter was better than its presentation.
Apparently, the Catholic Church found it memorable. They called it the best movie of that year, and I think they put out a review on that.
Well, yeah, but they're not judging it as a movie. They're judging it as its subject matter.
I know.
You know, like, and that's what everybody did with that movie. They're like, "Oh wow, what an important film," but it did.
Yeah.
They didn't judge it based on its presentation. I barely remember any of it. I think I remember some like really weird music and directing choices that were just kind of shit. But
How can
Anyway.
something be an important film if it didn't have a nice presentation?
well, because people base their opinions on films on the subject matter a lot of the time.
Fair.
You know,
You could just kind of do that thing where you kind of slam on it for a while.
where I kind of what?
Where you like the thing you did with amusement where you just like make fun of it.
Yeah,
Or just average. Well,
Wow.
everybody likes it. I
Amusement
mean, nobody
wasn't
liked
average.
amusement, but like, you know, everybody thinks it's good, but it's not, and just kind of.
you know, there's a few people that really liked amusement.
A few people.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't think it was like really well liked,
I was
but
I think the guy who wrote it might have liked it, maybe.
maybe
I was kind of
I can only
amazed.
hope.
Like every part that you made, the plot got more ridiculous than the last.
I kept
That-
forgetting it was the same movie, actually.
Yeah, it was very unique, despite being a ripoff of a lot of other things.
Like, I watched the third part, and like when it came out, and I didn't watch the first two parts since like they came out, and like I didn't remember what happened the last two parts, and then I watched the first part, and there was like a truck, and I'm like, this doesn't. I don't remember this.
Yeah,
This guy has plots so overly complicated, Jigsaw would tell him to tone it down.
he was basically Jigsaw.
Yeah, but it
Last
was like
your dungeon.
no, it wasn't Jigsaw. He was Amanda because they couldn't get out of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Someone's asking me if From What Is Before is worth the runtime. Kind of. It's not going to be on my list. It was good. It was really good, but it's definitely nowhere near as good as Norte, The End of History. Same
Oh, is
director.
it the Lav Diaz?
Yeah, he really likes making really long movies.
I have a friend who loves him. He's obsessed with that slow cinema.
5 hours and 40 minutes from What Is Before. 5 hour and 40-minute long single narrative film.
That's insane.
It's a very nice looking movie. It's well made. It's enjoyable, but I'm not
It's
sure if
5
the
hours.
runtime is justified. Like 4.5 hours that was good for Norte End of History, and it didn't really feel stretched out. Like there was a lot that happened in the timeline of that film. From What Is Before did feel kind of stretched out.
What's the longest movie you've ever seen?
Empire.
Probably From What Is Before, I guess. I don't know if I've ever seen a movie over 5 hours and 40 minutes long for a single film.
Do many-
Watch Zelda, 9 hours long.
No, I didn't. I didn't even know there was an original Murder on the Orient Express, honestly.
What?
For a
I knew
while.
book.
I never saw it.
It's
Well,
one-
I knew there was a book.
but
Did you see the new
I
one?
might go see it.
Yeah, I saw the new one. It was awful.
Then I won't go see it.
So boring.
My
Bad
grandmother
mouth
saw
on
it and
that.
she fell asleep in it.
Yeah, I was gonna go see it, but no, I'm not.
It was so fucking boring.
I might pirate it. That way I can just turn it off and I didn't pay for it.
The guy who directed it is playing the detective, like
Hmm.
the main guy, and He can't do a French accent, but he thinks he can.
So they got a room situation going on there.
Kind of.
Yeah.
In a way.
Except it's not good.
It's it's just so fucking boring. I thought I was walking into it about to see something like kind of funny that I could laugh at, but it was just so fucking dull. I didn't care about anything. And the whole movie is just like pretending to find like significant leads to the murder. It's one murder. That's literally what he's doing the whole movie, is just like, oh, well, I'm going to interview this guy. Oh, it turns out he was lying about this and he couldn't have been here, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, it doesn't give you any reason to care about what he's discovering or why
I
someone
think
got
it would have
murdered.
been fine as like a 30-minute like TV special or like an hour TV special.
I don't
Something
know.
like that. If it's just one murder, there's like every crime show, but with really bad acting, I guess.
It's just so bad.
Here's what you do. Watch the original, and all of your criticisms of the newer version, there's just, what was it? There's just so much and thrown at you all at once, and you just don't care about it. It's just presented in
I wouldn't
just
even say so much thrown at once. It was very slow and stretched out and dull.
Well, I don't know. Big Sleep. It's like the remake of the Murder on the Orient Express, the remake, but it's better. It's probably better than the original too. It's just a bunch of just stuff being thrown at you. It's very slow and stretched out, but that's the point. It has Humphrey Bogart in it.
Oh, the
It's what the other
1946.
guy- I don't know.
Well, I will watch this at some point.
I might read the book if I
Old movie.
feel like reading.
Mm-hmm.
Because the book might have been fine, because sometimes things are better in book form. Like every Stephen King
because
book.
you can fill it in with your own
Yeah.
interpretation, whereas the film is someone else's interpretation. Right? There's so much left up to imagination.
Every Stephen King book is left better as a book, you said? Not as a movie?
Not every, but most of them.
Like,
I mean, like The Shining was really well done.
okay.
So I think
as long as that's good.
if it's
So,
well
I'm sorry, I'm
done.
being rude.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's just if it's well done, it is. But a lot of his stuff is like really out there that you can't really pull off very well, you know? But I
Like,
mean, it's more like psychological. I mean, I'm not saying his is like high art or something, but he does some crazy shit. Like, you know what I mean?
I had somebody. I'm not really. Hey.
Adams.
I don't know what happened.
It's W.
It signed me out of my account for no reason,
Huh.
and then signed me back in. But now I'm back.
Bro.
I
Alright.
think the stream's still going too. But
So, Stephen King. It is a weird movie to adapt. I think the Half in the Bag review got it, like, nailed it. I had my friend. I was at a party.
which movie?
It.
Oh,
Oh, it
I
was
still haven't seen it.
fine.
You're not missing anything.
It
I
was
know.
fine. It
Yeah,
was,
Everybody says it's fine, and that's what made me not want to see it.
It's a
Yeah,
movie that you see on a Saturday. You come back to work. Your buddies are around the water cooler. Hey, what'd you do over the weekend? Oh, I saw a movie. I saw it. Yeah, and that's it.
yeah. I think the only reason people like it so much is because the Stranger Thing kids are in it, but I didn't really care for that either.
I haven't even watched Stranger Things yet.
I watched like one episode because my mom made me, I
It's
don't like it.
Good. It's all right. There's a lot that I like about Stranger Things. I haven't watched past like episode 4 yet, though.
It's not my type of show.
I like it a lot, but it is kind of derivative in places.
Well,
which isn't
I think
surprising.
It's like intentionally derivative.
I mean, they meant for it to be mainstream, so take that as you will. Netflix, their original content isn't that great most of the time. They've done some okay things.
There's a lot of good stuff.
They've done some good things, but most of their stuff is.
I don't know about most.
David Fincher's new series is pretty great.
What is it?
Mindhunter?
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
That was actually kind of
if you want a good laugh. It's
sorry.
really bad.
Mindhunter is listed as the number 74th best TV show of all time on IMDb.
Accurate.
It's like, I don't know. It's always overinflates like new stuff that people like. Because there's going to be more votes on it because more people have IMDb accounts and vote on things every year.
TV shows are always very highly more rated than movies on IMDb too.
Yeah.
It's watch.
People are willing to overlook flaws more in a TV show because they're trying to judge it as the whole series rather than the specific parts, I guess. So it's like, if there's one bad episode of a TV show you really love, you're just gonna be like, oh, but the show's great. It's just one bad episode,
And
but if
you
there's
have
an
to
entire
commit to a TV show.
If there's an entire shitty scene in a movie, you're like, oh, but that was the same director, and you almost want to blame it more.
And you got to commit to a TV show, but a movie you can just be in and out in like 2 hours. And
also, like, the TV show's ongoing. You're like, it's not done yet. It's probably still really great forever.
It does sting more when a show gets really bad towards the end.
Dexter.
Yep, I was about
Oh.
to say. I quit way before the lumberjack controversy.
I quit on season 2 because his personality completely changed. Like, way. Like, at the end of season 2, I just quit because I didn't like it at all.
I quit on episode 1 because I wasn't interested.
Fair enough.
I'm glad I didn't continue because everybody who loves the show just hates it.
Yeah, I mean, season 1 was interesting because it was just, fun to see him figure out who did it for a while and try to, awkwardly talk to people, but then he turned into like a huge dick.
The Office US was a show that really fucking got worse over time.
It should have ended after Pam got married.
You know what? Pam getting married was like one of the worst episodes of the show for me. When they were all they all fucking did their like, let's take turns dancing in front of the camera thing that like only happens in bad movies or like 13-year-old home videos of kids trying to be funny.
Still finding it
did that in a show.
Still finding it there. I mean, even if it is a low point, then that is still better than like everything.
Continuing after that fact, yeah. It was after that season where I was watching it with my friends, and it was like, I think it was season 7 or whatever, and it was like 4 episodes into it, and I was just like, why are we still watching this? So it was like, we haven't laughed at all. Like, none of this has been funny. Why are we watching this?
I can't watch more than like 3 episodes of The Office at one time because I get just like, I mean, it's funny, but it's like cringe funny, and so I just can't watch like more than 3 episodes at a time.
I love cringe.
I do too, but there's a point where like me, personally, I gotta take time off.
I bathe in the cringe.
I watched it while I was like sick in bed in high school.
Same. Yeah. Season 2 of The Office is great. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'll revisit it someday.
I'm a little tired of the "Oh God No" clip though.
Yeah, that's being
pretty
done
good.
to death.
I don't know. It's overused for sure. People use it in contexts where it doesn't belong, but it's still a good clip. Doesn't take away the impact of the clip itself, I think. I was thinking, imaginary fanboy, I was saying the other day, like, all the single furries could be the new Rick Roll. Because you have to trick someone into watching it, you know?
Sure, that meme needs an update anyway.
I fucking refuse. I have never heard it once, but hearing you describe it on like Adam Plays, I just no.
You've never seen all the single furries?
No, and I will.
But it's such a good
It's a
song.
classic. Oh my god.
I'm watching that shit now.
There's not a lot of music that just makes me want to poke my ears out, except for like every single thing Toby Keith has ever made.
Toby Keith. Who dat?
You know what?
You're better off not knowing.
Yeah, I was about to say, he has like the most ignorant fucking garbage music
Country
about
man.
global warming and shit.
Oh.
And you know,
I'm about to listen to As Good As I Once Was.
yeah, I've
So far as a good music video.
I don't know. My favorite country song is She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy.
This music video is starting out like a responsible drinking advertisement. It's about to turn into some like Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
it's not nearly as bad as say American Ride or Red Solo Cup.
Man, you know what's funny is like a lot of middle America that listens to like super country music, they like to tout this whole like I'm listening to real music, but they don't realize that like popular country music in this day and age is literally one of, if not the most formulated genre in music.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they use auto-tune more than like any other genre. It's like they don't realize just how fabricated the entire thing is at this point.
Toby Keith, like the fakest shit.
Man, country music is literally one of the worst genres for all of the things that they criticize other genres for doing.
If you do want to hear like a cringy song, try American Ride. That he even like brings
American
up.
Ride, let's try it.
Do you remember Hot Coffee, the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see why I brought it up. I'm still mad about it.
The only country song I like is Because I Like It Ironically. And
Oh, this
that's
is a good
about
music
it.
video. My God.
Does Beck count as country to anybody?
No.
I like him. I like
Ash is okay.
I like
This is like a Tim and Eric music
songs
video.
by Johnny Cash, and that's it. My buddy from like elementary school is a drummer, and his band opened up for Leonard Skinner.
Whoa.
So like that's like, yeah. I mean, Ronnie Van Zant is dead, but it's still Leonard Skinner. Like, there's my country connection. Like, I just listen to like metal and classical music and jazz and old school hip hop, basically.
Thank you for recommending this music video. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching Tim and Eric right now.
I've never watched that show. I've wanted to for so long, though.
This is concerning.
When it comes to Tim and Eric, watch their sketch where it's like they're doing prices like buy premium prices. I can sell you prices for $7.99. I'll sell
Premium, more like creamulum.
I can't feed this to my family. Go away. I'm not going to serve you to my family.
There was like one Tim and Eric clip that a friend of mine kept sending me like all the time, and it was just some guy going, "It's free real estate."
Oh my god.
A shareable one.
I love that fucking one.
Pause to the
What
walls.
was it? What was it like? Spaghetti. That was my favorite sketch.
I'm sweaty. Mom spaghetti.
No, it's spaghetti, and he like, there's like this part where there's like these people mourning over a grave, and he pops up and he's like, it's spaghetti.
I'm sharing this link
they
that
call
I'm
the
listening to
police.
right now. This is disgusting. Oh no!
What is this?
Oh no! This is one of those like furries make music things.
Oh no! Fuck! God damn it! Oh no!
Persona version. I hate my fucking life.
Here we go. Ready?
Okay. Well, I hear a lot of bleeding.
I'm putting that on the back burner.
I'm
Yeah,
sending that to
doesn't matter.
everyone I know,
Yeah.
and hopefully they'll click on it.
Yeah. We need to just start Rick-rolling with really shitty furry music.
Yeah, which is any furry music if you can find some.
Eh.
I mean, there are furries.
What about an unkindness?
Fine.
Is that furry music?
It's made by one, but I don't know. You don't have explicitly.
I kind of do. I kind of do, but it's just not. I guess it's not explicit.
Not explicit, I guess.
Yeah,
It's
there's
metaphorical.
there's songs where I'm definitely talking about that shit, but it's not really obvious. Excuse me. I think I'm still sick.
Ouch.
Excuse me.
Hey guys, check this one out.
No.
Oh, I said
Oh,
it said Skooski
nice.
at the end,
My
and
favorite
I thought that
song.
said Sandusky because I went to Penn State and I
There's
have
a
to think about that
Sandusky,
shit all the time.
Ohio.
Huh?
There's a Sandusky, Ohio.
I know, and here's the thing, and this is horrible, but it's true. There was an ice cream flavor. We have this ice cream parlor at Penn State. It's seriously the best ice cream you'll ever have in the world. And I went, and I don't want to sound pretentious. I often do. I do.
Go on.
So I'm not saying this to impress anybody, but I went to Europe. I've been to Italy. Their gelato's great, not as good as Penn State. Now, there actually was a flavor on the ice cream menu called Sandusky Blitz,
My God.
and it had to be removed for obvious reasons. The sad part is, that was a good ice cream flavor.
I must live under a rock because I don't.
That was
know
the
why.
dude at Penn State that raped the boy in the shower, right?
Oh,
Out of many,
Oh, Sam.
he molested kids, and here's the thing: he took to some of these kids on L rides.
Now I remember.
I don't know what an L ride is.
That's where you basically like, hey, get in the car. We're about to like hotbox.
What?
I don't know what that is.
An
was
L
like-
ride?
Yes.
Can you so you, as in you drive around smoking weed or what? Like L ride?
Yeah, who in Penn State would have gotten who at Penn State
I've
would have
never heard of
arrested
that
Jerry
term.
Sandusky?
L ride. L ride.
That's what they call it. Urban Dictionary. That.
L ride.
Yeah.
usually you just call it hot box, but okay.
Driving
I mean-
around and smoking a blunt. Why don't you call it like a J ride? Why is it? What's the L for?
I don't know. That's
What
just
the
what
fuck
they
is
call
this?
Oh
Backwards.
yeah, updated on
people.
all the single furries. I sent it to my friend, and he said it was a classic.
Oh yeah.
I'm-
Also,
It is a classic.
it is.
It truly is
I
a
mean, it's
classic.
based on a stupidly popular.
You know what pisses me off is like when people like, don't get me wrong, there's tons of furry cringe out there, but when people fall for like obvious trolling and satire, so like all the single furries that the one that has like 1.2 million views, that's not the original uploader. That's a troll that re-uploaded it. And so whenever it gets posted on like Reddit or like the furry hate subreddit or anything, all the comments are like, "Oh yeah, look how disgusting the video description is." And it's like the video description is come join us fuzzies on reddit.com/furry and reddit.com/r/yif. And it's just like, oh, that's embarrassing. But it's
Yeah,
clearly
check out all
it's
the
clearly-
naughty furries.
It's not the original uploader, right?
I took something cringy and made it a little cringier.
Oh yeah, it's definitely someone trying to get that kind of reaction, and it's just so funny when people fall for like really obvious bait.
Mhm.
But it's like when it comes to the furry fandom, people will literally take whatever they can get. Like there's tons already, there's tons of cringe out there, but people will grasp for whatever straws they can find when it comes to believing that furries are always cringe, only cringe.
Fair. I mean, this is pretty cringy in itself, but like I've been to like 2 anime conventions, and every single furry I've met has smelt like piss.
Every
So-
furry that you know is a furry.
No,
What
no, like these were people in fursuits, and they
No,
smelled
that's
like
what
piss.
I mean. Is like, you know how many furries there are not in fursuits?
Closet furries are fine as long as they don't smell like
Non-closet furries are also not in fursuits. I mean, you can be a furry and not have a
But
fursuit.
you can
And
tell when
the
somebody's
vast
furry.
majority. Well, no, I know that, but that's what I'm getting at.
That's
Is you're judging specifically the ones that you know are. So that's the same mentality when you say like, everyone I've ever met who's gay talks with a lisp and dresses really girly and has a limp wrist. But it's like, but there's also, you have no idea how many people who are gay that don't do that, but you just don't know they're gay because they don't do that. So it's like, you know, when there's someone who's like, I must let everyone know I'm a furry, you know, versus just a furry, and then someone who's like, I must let everyone know I'm gay versus just a gay guy, then people are only going to judge the ones that are really obvious,
Yeah.
you know? So
Well,
that's what I was
okay.
getting at.
I'll
is like,
change my statement. All the obvious furries smell like piss.
I would say, honestly,
Because they try to hug you. Like, they literally walk up to you and try to hug you.
Okay, are you sure it wasn't just Cool Cat?
No, what conventions have you been to?
And-
Because I went to one in Sandusky, Ohio, and then I went to one in Indiana. I've only been to 2.
if there was if there was a subsection of furry that smelled like piss, it would probably be the anime furries. So-
Yeah, but I mean, most furries are anime furries, except the
No?
straight ones. Except the straight ones.
What? You have very inaccurate
The fuck?
actions.
What about just
Sorry,
regular?
I'm not in furry culture.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Like weebs?
That wouldn't, I'm not anime, and I'm not a straight furry. So
I'm anime. What do I smell like? I
I'm
don't
not-
know.
I
why
know,
people
can't
are like,
claim.
I'm not
um,
sure either, but I don't really know what anime furry means.
prefer
I would say like
anime.
weeboo.
Yeah, weeb.
But
weebs are pretty bad in general.
honestly,
Whoa.
you know, I've been to
But
a
it's
few
only
different.
like a really short phase, usually.
I've been to a few different conventions, and like, whenever somebody posts a video from something like a furry convention, like MFF, and they see like the dance or whatever, the comments are always like, "Oh God, imagine the smell." But it's like, I've been there, and I would say the vast majority of furries are like pretty hygienic. Like the stereotype, like 300-pound, never leave my home except to go to a convention furries, like those are the ones that need to work on their hygiene for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, the moment where I realized that like furries are not that bad in that category is when I started going to other conventions that were not furry conventions. Like when I went to RTX, and believe me, I love those guys, but that's a very like nerd, mostly male gaming kind of related convention. And I literally like checked out the rave at that. Literally just showed up for like 20 minutes. It was like a wall of BO. I literally walked in the room. I was like, oh, and like you could smell it everywhere. And that was the moment I realized, you know what? Like, I've never had this experience at a furry convention. So I think it's funny that like a lot of people who criticize furries are also from nerdy subcultures like gaming or anime and everything. When it's like, if we're gonna be comparing different conventions, I'd say furries are not even that bad in that category at all.
The only convention I've ever been to was Minneapolis, and that's not a furry con.
I think I'd imagine like Comic-Con probably smells like shit, but
Otakon.
Yeah.
Otakon down in Baltimore and DC. If we're talking about raves that just absolutely reeked of like weed, hell, and just
I think all the raves at cons smell bad.
That one was just that. Oh, man, that was Otakon of what, 2014? God, I was so wasted, and I just was like shouting. Has anyone here ever seen Dog Day Afternoon?
Yes.
No.
Attica. So it was like Otakon, and like everybody just. It was a great moment for me.
It was a fun movie. I enjoyed it.
It's a very good movie. I actually have a book that was written by the director.
Nice.
Sidney Lumet.
I watched it.
I have that same book. Sorry.
I watched it because episode 8 of Nirvana the Band, the show, was a direct parody of it, which was pretty cool.
That's a great show. I love that show.
Yeah, season 2, boys. The people on the production staff keep sending me screener copies of the new episodes, so I get to see them all early.
Nice.
It's awesome.
That's how you know you're famous now.
You could be really famous and not get people sending you that shit. It's because I've met them, and we're Canadians, and I've really loved the show. And
has anyone been to like a FurCon and seen Cool Cat people?
I have been invited to a FurCon, but I've never been there. So
I've seen a lot of Cool Cat shirts, but not a Cool Cat costume. By the way, somebody sent me a $10 thing on the YouTube chat that says, "I like you, Adam, even if you are a furry. I hope you show up in the YMS Discord more often." Thank you very much. Massive blessing.
I might buy a Cool Cat shirt, ironically, but I'd be giving money to him.
Who bought it unironically is the question.
Yeah, but I mean,
think everybody.
I don't want to give money to him, you know?
Meh. I want him to make another Cool Cat.
Yeah.
How's that going to happen? I want a Cool Cat too.
I'll buy it.
Not this bullshit, I'm going to add an extra scene to Cool Cat and sell it again for the 4th time. Just George Lucas this shit over and over. Don't get me started. This happens every fucking Hangout.
Talking about Cool Cat?
I just go on...
Hey, I like Cool Cat.
You won't be able to escape.
Cool Cat loves you.
Isn't it kind of impossible for anybody to not associate you with Cool Cat anymore?
I don't mind.
You know,
I would love to be associated with Cool Cat and like Neil Breen in some ways, although I like being at the helm of an important piece of art. You know, Cool Cat is definitely the one where it's like no one was talking about it before I did a review. Neil Breen, I kind of jumped in a little late, but there was only one other video review of it before that point, and that was for Double Down by Red Letter Media.
Somehow I had actually heard of Cool Cat before even knowing who you were.
Was that through I Hate Everything?
No, it was through a podcast.
Oh, nice. What podcast?
Drunken Peasants.
Oh, I see.
Jay Kirk's podcast.
Yeah. I think I saw that clip. Oof. Yeah, Red Letter Media really committed to Star Wars, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're
they
great.
have to forever, and it's like, they got to do it for their fans. I'm sure they enjoy doing it in some way, but I'm sure there's a part of them at this point that are like, you realize we're gonna have to do this like every year now, right? Like, fucking every year. Is he gonna do one for Rogue One? I don't know.
I don't know. Was there anything that he said that he didn't already say in The Half in the Bag? It was a pretty forgettable movie. And here's the thing about Red Letter Media. I don't even think that their best stuff is the Star Wars. I mean, that's what they're going to be known for. But their best review is the Titanic review. Like, I was giving a lot of thought to this, and that is, in my humble view, the best YouTube video ever made.
What?
Yes, everything. There's no. It's perfectly edited, perfectly executed, well written, hilarious, perfectly edited. Like, no YouTube reviewer. There's only two aspects of YouTube: everything before Red Letter Media, everything after Red Letter Media, and that started with the Phantom Menace. But I think he's better defined. They're better defined with their Titanic review.
Well, I'm gonna post you my favorite YouTube video ever made.
Go for it.
I just did.
It's a link to fucking his cool video.
It is good.
I'm kidding.
That is good.
Best.
Oh,
I'm thinking of hiring Tyrone. Honestly, I want a little.
You should. Everybody should hire Tyrone. He should be. He should have riches and fortune for doing his great service to humanity.
That hired Tyrone. It took.
Sorry, what?
I know somebody personally who hired Tyrone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just it was. I mean, not to be a weeb, but it was making fun of their anime taste.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was JoJo's discourse, so that makes sense. Yeah.
You are so stupid.
Rohan is a shit.
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I actually saw the video before I met them because it was floating around.
How
It
much
was
does
like 2014.
I actually hired somebody myself, not Tyrone. Has anyone ever seen Gigux work?
Yeah.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Who said yes? One of them. You?
I have.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah,
I've hired him as a personal consultant. So I'm making YouTube videos and getting some advice. See what happens.
Your
JVath, I'm assuming you're talking about the YouTube channel.
supervisor.
Huh?
Are you an sorry? Are you an anime YouTuber, right?
Anime YouTuber? I should be, but I'm more interested in movies. Like,
Oh.
I don't watch as much anime as I should because, like, it's just so fucking weird now. Like, it's okay.
I
like,
think anime has always been weird.
no, but like back in the day, you could defend it easier. Like, you could talk like. I almost sound like the routine that Chris Rock did about rap music. But it's the same way I feel. In the 80s, you could defend Akira and you could defend JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as a manga and stuff like that. Call it art. 90s, you had Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball Z, and you had Cowboy Bebop and all of this other stuff. And you could be like, yeah, this has some cultural significance. This is important. This is some form of art. 2000s came. You had some of the best anime ever made. You had Death Note, Code Geass, Gurren Lagann, you fucking Monster.
I mean,
Well, this generation.
Now it's like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Whoa, hold up.
It's
This generation has
been
the
like
best.
that, but it's more of just like the seasonal anime thing because it used to be more just like movies and they put more time, but then the technology's changed and there's not as much hand-drawn animation and it's more flash and the styles have changed and the interests have changed.
What was the
Because
one?
they're trying to reach a wider range.
You guys,
I'm okay
you guys
with
are
anime.
forgetting.
I
You
don't.
guys are forgetting about the greatest anime ever made.
Neo Yokio. We already
Yes,
established that. That's the
Mitch.
final
Yes.
form of anime.
I mean, of course.
This is the
Duh.
end to anime. This is the final chapter of anime.
all
I mean-
shades are blue.
Yes. Jaden Smith is a master. He is the ultimate anime.
I can't wait.
And also he also got sponsored by Toblerone, I believe. I'm just taking a hint there. Maybe.
I actually didn't know that Toblerone was a thing until that show, and now I want.
Oh,
it.
really?
My mom used to get them from the grocery store. I was
I
like,
eat a lot of candy. I'm trying to stop being so thick. I'm fat. I need to go exercising more.
But no, like I don't know. Just to me, anime
Neo
it
Yokio.
used to be better. But the only reason I don't like Neo Yokio is because of the animation. Because I'm an animation buff, just like the way it's drawn. Because it's drawn in the new school style, and I don't really like that.
Yeah, that's another thing. Giguk actually took a little bit of time to discuss this in like the last video he made. There's a lot of things that are going wrong in the animation department of this new generation of anime. Again, I don't really care so much about animation quality. Log Horizon doesn't have great animation. It's still pretty great.
I didn't watch it.
It's like a better Sword Art Online, which actually has great animation, but it's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, the first episode of Sword Art Online was okay, and then the rest was shit.
I gave up on the first episode.
Shit, I just watched like 2 episodes.
I can count all the anime I like on one hand.
I mean, honestly, to me,
Yeah.
I just like the only animation that I put up with that's bad is for One Piece because I've been keeping up with it for so long that I just am used to the shitty animation. But the rest, I just really care about animation because I'm an artist.
Yeah.
So like,
the fight scenes in One Piece are good. So
yeah.
I really
like. I'm not really that big of a fan of One Piece, but it's like one of the few long-running shonen that I can appreciate, which is like more than I can say about. Sorry if you like it. Fairy Tale.
Oh, nobody likes Fairy Tale.
I
Okay,
do.
good. Because I actually am like, how dare you and your
I
wife?
know people who like
Nobody likes Fairy Tale. Who likes Fairy Tale?
I know a lot of people who like.
my housemate. My housemate
Wow.
has like a Fairy Tale poster.
Oh man.
these are all things that I'm not familiar with.
No, my roommate, he hates Fairy Tale like so much. Like he'll stop talking to you if you like Fairy Tale.
But now the homemate like in question is like a crazy conservative dude.
Ah, that makes sense.
He's like a big fan of Steven Crowder.
Fuck, hold up. God damn it.
Crowder.
Steven
We're just
Crowder is a very
confused.
funny impressionist, but I disagree with him very much politically.
Have you
He's
ever
a
seen
very
his
funny
with
entertainer.
Christopher Titus?
Sorry?
If you want to see like some definitive cringe, watch that. He does not allow Christopher Titus like one word.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
A comedian, very funny.
Yeah.
I like him. He actually had a sitcom that was pretty corny, but like in an endearing way. It was very dark for a family sitcom. That was interesting.
What was it called?
Titus.
Oh, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it. I might watch it.
It's like 3 seasons long. It got canceled because it made a joke about Arabs on planes after 9/11. So it's like, yeah, you can't do that. So they canceled it. It was fine. Maybe not the joke. It was too soon for that. I can understand why Fox might have pulled the plug, but
Oh,
other than that, it was still a
speaking
very
of pulling the plug, did you guys hear that Always Sunny is getting taken off of Netflix?
I didn't even know it was on Netflix.
Yeah, it was on
It's
Netflix.
been
and
on
it's getting
Netflix.
taken off Netflix.
Oh.
That's the
And-
only reason why I had a Netflix account for
Yeah,
a
me
while.
too.
That and the
What's its original
Series
network?
of
Like
Unfortunate Events
FX or
movie.
something? I don't know.
FX. Yeah, it's
series,
FX.
television series.
Yeah. I still haven't given that show a really good watch yet, but I'd
I
really
mean,
like
the
to.
first season is pretty rough because they barely had any budget at all. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good. I mean, it's gone on for 12 seasons.
Yeah, I heard a
Around
lot
like
of-
the 10th or 11th season, it starts getting but then the 12th season, I just watched it. It's really good. It's one of my top shows ever.
I've used a lot of clips from it, and I've seen a lot of clips from it.
It's really good. Danny DeVito
Yep.
is great. I mean, Charlie Day,
Thing to say about
he's a genius actor.
I'm
well,
sorry. I was gone for a little bit. What show?
It's
Always
always
Sunny.
Oh yeah, I
It-
know that show.
It's honestly,
14 seasons, it's pretty long time.
yeah. To me,
No.
it is one of the best acted shows on television.
Oh
Like,
yeah, they're really in
it
it.
is in terms of acting as good in a comedic sense for the genre. The acting is as good as the stuff you'll see on Breaking Bad or House of Cards. Or no, I'm sorry, not House of Cards. Fuck House of Cards. Like I don't know, Game of Thrones. I don't know.
Can everybody?
No, it's because they're really in it. Like the actors write the show. Like the yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Like the actors write the show. Like even some of the side, like the dude who plays Cricket wrote some episodes and everything.
He directed
like
a lot of them.
Yeah. Like everybody's really into the show. They brought Danny DeVito in so it'd be, get more popular, but he's really into it. He stayed for like 10 seasons so far.
I'm sorry. But regarding the link Adam just posted, what is that hair?
How have I never seen this picture? This is amazing.
I am Jaden Smith's IMDB profile. It's a very funny picture.
It's a good one.
I have not listened to his new album yet.
Album?
I just watched. Yeah, he's gonna save the rap game. He's gonna save rap music.
No.
He's been dropping singles and shit for a while, and I
didn't even.
I heard his Batman song, and that was fucking god awful. So I haven't listened to the new album yet, but I before the stream I watched D'Anthony Fambrango's review on it.
I didn't know if he. I wasn't gonna listen to it unless Anthony Fantano would have reviewed it.
Yeah, I might still listen to it, but like, it's just it's exactly what I expected.
Anything he
from
gives
hearing
below like it's a 6. I'd listen to because it'd probably be funny.
I don't.
Because a 6 is average for him, even if it's a good album, like a 6 or a 7.
I don't listen.
I wouldn't base. I don't.
His word is
like amusing, then I'll check it out. But I mean, there's albums that he doesn't like that I really like.
He gave Swans a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Swans.
That was pretty questionable.
Everything
is like highest rated ones. They seem to be a lot of like really strange, like experimental kind of.
Yeah,
sounds.
He's more into experimental.
Yeah.
I mean, I like experimental, but
sadly,
me too.
There's a point where it's just not entertaining.
I did really like The Money Store.
Oh yeah, Death Grips is good.
I saw Death Grips. I saw Death Grips live.
Me too.
All of my friends have seen Death Grips except me because I live in the middle of like buttfuck nowhere. I live in North Florida.
That'll do it.
Nobody I live in the middle of North Florida, and the only place in Florida anybody goes is South Florida, and that's literally 9 hours away. It takes 9 hours to travel to South Florida. So
man, I feel you. I live in Pennsylvania. There's only 2 parts of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. And once you leave, it's just like nothing.
Yeah. I lived in Ohio. It sucked. But at least concerts came there.
I don't understand the whole meme on Anthony Fantano's channel of like, he gave Damn a 7 when it's like, what, people wanted it to be rated an 8 or higher? Like,
here's the thing.
I mean, 7's a good review. That's a good, so you don't like it enough. Like,
this is my problem.
They don't realize it's his opinion. I mean, he does review them fairly, but the numbers are really his opinion.
To music.
He doesn't realize the.
I just love when people get mad at 7s out of 10. Like
I know.
People were mad at you for Mad Max.
I mean, you don't give something a 10 out of 10 unless it's like really, really, really good.
People are just upset because there's no Rotten Tomatoes to show a fresh rating. If it showed that he rated it fresh, people would be happy. It's 7 out of 10 doesn't seem good enough.
There was like a fake screenshot circling around of like a 7 out of 10 Jim Sterling review for Mario Odyssey, and like everybody bought it and was like sending death threats and shit. And wouldn't you know it, when it actually did come out, he like praised the shit out of the game.
I just, I don't know. That seems to happen a lot with like music and games. But when it comes to movies, I think like in general, people are willing to give a bit more leeway. Like, I don't know, maybe I just have like more reasonable fans or something. I don't know. I just feel like I get heat sometimes, but only usually when there's like a really stark difference. You know, usually I don't know. People don't get too pissy about shit.
I mean, I've like disagreed with some of your opinions, but I've never gotten fucking pissed.
You know.
Here's the thing that people need to ask themselves when it comes to critics. If a critic doesn't like what you like, does that lessen the value of what you like? My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. It is my favorite album ever, right after Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. I obviously disagree with Anthony Fantano. I still think that's a great album.
What did he even say about it? He didn't like it?
Like he just said that you can only enjoy this album if you're already absorbed into Kanye West's ego, which is true.
Like
yeah, that does not sound too far from the truth.
I mean, I like Kanye.
It works if you're already absorbed into Bob Dylan's love life. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I get what you mean. I'm not a Kanye West fan, and so I'm like,
I mean,
I don't know.
I enjoy Kanye West occasionally. I mean, I don't listen to it like religiously, but you know, he's nice to listen to if you're just, you know, casually.
I enjoyed
he puts out good stuff usually.
I enjoyed like College Dropout or something.
Yeah, College Dropout was good,
like,
but it's
the Workout
really
Plan, whatever album that was on.
I really doesn't get College Dropout, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was the very first album I ever heard from Kanye, and I loved it. And when I gone back, I kind of listened it from back to the first albums. I just didn't get it, you know.
I feel like
it was like
Kanye West has like the exact same sense of overinflated self-importance that Jaden Smith has, although Kanye definitely did more for himself. Like, he wasn't born into a rich like Smith family, as far as I know. And he actually like built his own career, so he gets to have some leeway with that, but it is still the same level of like obnoxious and overinflated self-importance.
But to be fair, Kanye is like a 30-year-old man, and Jaden Smith's like 18.
40.
Yeah,
Kanye
he's a grown-ass man, and Jaden Smith's like 18. So
I remember when Kanye posed on the cover of Rolling Stone wearing a crown of thorns, saying that his life experiences were that of Jesus Christ's.
Yeah,
it's
great. It's great. Listen,
yeah, I'm not absorbed into his ego, and so that might be why it's difficult.
It's entertaining.
I totally.
Jesus had to learn to rap through the wire. Come on, everybody knows that.
I love his ego. My whole thing is that I know he's an asshole. I wouldn't want to meet him because never meet your hero. But I don't want to be like disappointed. Like, you know what I mean?
Part of you knows you'd be disappointed.
I mean, at least he knows he has been
what I'm talking about. I like his music, but like the thing about his ego is that it is so funny. You gotta admit that.
And he's self-aware too.
Presidential bid.
I don't know if he's self-aware.
Like, love yourself like Kanye loves Kanye. Like, he knows he's. Let
me just say, there is no one other than Kanye West who has such a good understanding of the Holy Mountain.
Ah!
Yeah.
Fucking every music video is like Holy Mountain inspired now.
It's funny because there's like 6 like, you can tell there was a moment where he really had his head up his ass, because there's an interview on MTV where he's like, oh yeah, I watch Mean Girls in the back of the plane, and that's how I party, and I'm hanging with Sean meaning Jay-Z. You know, he's watching Godfather and Goodfellas and Scarface. It's like, why don't you watch real people's movies, like Made in America or Home Alone or something? Like, he was humble. There was a point where Kanye West actually had a sense of humility, but now it's like, I'm a god. I'm going to drop acid and watch Jodorowsky. It's going to be great. Because I'm amazing. And it's
he thinks he's like bread.
And he has the right,
like, I don't know, you have your own fan base for sure, but you haven't like revolutionized the music industry.
Yeah, he has.
You really haven't.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
No. He did a lot of good producing, but I don't know if I would say like
he's the biggest rock star in the world right now. Why can't he be?
He kind of brought experimental music, like with. I mean, I'm not saying
like it didn't exist
no,
before
no.
Kanye.
No. I'm trying to say he introduced because his Life of Pablo was more experimental and nobody really. I mean, not nobody.
He like
but
forced
some
it into
people,
the mainstream, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
What was
Not
the
really
Beatles' The
forced
White
it.
Album? Fuck.
Not really forced it,
Somewhere.
but you know, he brought.
He's not the first artist to do that, though.
Yeah.
There's so many artists that have done that before.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware, but it's.
He just, I mean, he did.
It was
like he's not done anything that like.
Yeah, you're right.
Hasn't been done before in some way. He's this generation's like few artists that do that, I guess, that are that popular.
Yeah.
But it's like you can't really do that unless that you're that popular in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah, being fair.
Life of Pablo was boneless Jesus.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was okay.
I felt like when I was listening to it, I felt like, okay, this is what people who have never listened to Kanye West and are like chilling at bars. It's like back in my day, we had Led Zeppelin, not this crazy rap music. Like those people who have never listened to Kanye West, listening to Life of Pablo, that is exactly what they think he sounds like. It sounds like a parody of like his earlier music.
I'm just like
too much.
I'm not into anything that he says lyrically. You know, I'm really just not. I don't relate to anything he says. I'm not like so impressed by the production on it that I find it like catchy and want to revisit it. I'm just like, I'm not a person who can really get his music per se. And then whenever I say I don't like his music, there's always a Kanye fan that's like offended that. Implying that I should.
I guess you could say that they are so appalled.
What?
I went over some people's heads.
Yeah, that's a fun.
Yeah, we get that.
That's a fun. So I don't really can relate with that because I'm a white male living in Russia. I'm the farthest man who can ever relate to Kanye West personally. But somehow I feel like kind of immersed into his feeling of the world when I.
So you're saying you're fucking a white male?
Yeah, I'm white male currently in Moscow. I'm the farthest guy who can relate Kanye West. So I don't know. He's somehow.
It's fine. It's just a
I
certain.
don't know.
I
don't know. I feel like the challenges and struggles that you face as a minority living in America go steadily down the more money you have. So I don't know. I don't know if he can really speak for. Sorry?
His music's just a little bit more than just that. There came
oh yeah, of course.
Where no, really, like when you're listening to like the shit that he made after the Taylor Swift incident, it's more of like an introspective, like intimate look into his personal life. It's like I can't. It's like listening to Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan or the shit that John Lennon made after he broke up with the Beatles and I guess some of Morrissey's solo stuff. And like Fantano is absolutely right when he says that in order to get Kanye's music, you have to buy into and be absorbed into him and his ego.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't like the album, but that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Not for everybody. Hey.
I mean,
I'm surprised that he didn't like it. I thought he was on board with Kanye's music.
He is. He
I
like the college
He didn't
dropout.
like it. He just didn't say it was his best album.
I never really liked the genre to begin with, so I have no room to talk.
Yeah.
It's great. As overplayed as Power is, that is honestly one of the that is the greatest song written this decade, at least in the mainstream.
Okay.
I'll have to listen to it.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Somebody fucking posted that Gautier song, somebody I used to know, in the chat. I was like, that's a good song.
What the fuck else
that's
have you made?
That's a
That's a good one.
Gautier. You know what? I will say this right fucking now. Listen to the whole album. Gautier is a really, really good artist, and people only know that one track, but he has the whole album is like pretty awesome.
Yeah,
He has really good music.
when that came out, I didn't.
State of the art.
I wasn't that into music as much as I am now, so I didn't. But like I did that with some other artists that had like one hit.
Oh man.
And they're usually really good, and then there's just one.
This is from the same album.
Likes.
I'm posting a link for you guys, whether you want to listen to that right away or later. This is from the same album, and it's a really dope track. It's probably my favorite from his, maybe.
Has Gautier released anything after that album?
Since that? I don't know. Let's check out.
I wonder if it became a meme mostly.
I like the music videos. It's good.
Yeah,
I'm wondering
man.
if it became
Really
a meme
talented
because of
artist.
the weird paint thing.
I'm not a big fan of the music video for somebody I used to know, but
Nah, yeah, that was
whatever. I love the song. So yeah, has not released an album since Making Mirrors. It's been like almost 7 years, 8 years, or 6 years right now.
oh man.
Yeah, very
that's
versatile
good.
sound. Doesn't even sound like the same artist in this score right now. But yeah, tons of great songs on this album. Like I definitely have this album on vinyl. And it's a shame that people just don't fucking know that this guy makes other songs. Everybody listened to that one song, but nobody else listened to any other. And you know what? Actually, there's been a few times where I've heard some of his other tracks show up on the radio, but he's got such a versatile sound that like no one knows it's his tracks. So someone can hear it on the radio and is like, this sounds good, and then not really go into it anymore.
The only radio station I ever get the chance to listen to is my mom's fucking country music station.
Woo! There were
listened
like
to the aux cord from my phone.
there were at least 3 different country stations in Edmonton.
Oh man, my
It was like an
hometown where I
XM.
grew up, it didn't even have a regular country station. It was like an old people country station. Like they played like Johnny Cash and like stuff from that era, but it wasn't even like the good songs. Like that was the only one, and then there was a top 40 station. So, and that was before I had like any like thing to listen to besides the radio. So I just grew up on top 40s when I was like 13 and 14.
In Kurama, Connor Oberst's Salutations I did not like, but I loved Ruminations. I feel like Salutations kind of just ruined the whole point of Ruminations. Like, so Connor Oberst did a solo album. Well, he's done a few solo albums. But one of his recent ones, called Ruminations, which got released in the past 2 years, I think, was a very intimate, close, like, self-recorded, like, either vocals and guitar and some harmonica, or, like, vocals and piano, like, very bare bones and very, very close and personal. And then that was enough of a success that he's like, oh, let me do the same thing, except I'm going to add my full band to it. and it was just like, oh, they don't sound as good. They don't sound nearly as good anymore, and it just kind of ruined it. But whatever. I really don't. As a solo artist, I very much prefer his like actual solo stuff. But when he tries to add his whole like Mystic Valley band into it, it's just like, ugh. I don't like any of the other musicians. I like it. I like when he does shit with Mike Mogus, but I don't know these other fucking people. Anyway, yeah, the band versions are terrible.
Yeah, I don't like when artists are like detached from their bands. Like they're just like me, and they're over there playing their music too. Like that just really kind of
depends on the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
who
one on
knows?
the top of my head, but I can't think of it right now. But you know, just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was already planned beforehand, says Ankum Rama. Well, Ruminations was still better. IMO. No Bright Eyes albums for the past 7 years. Might be their last.
I don't listen to a lot of music, sadly. Most of my phone is the Undertale soundtrack.
And bad.
I like Undertale has a good soundtrack.
I have been listening to a lot of Death Grips, Pulp, and Mozart.
I have 8 gigs of music on my phone, and it's mostly bullshit. Like, I just listen, like, honestly, not to sound, like, weird, but I just listen to a lot of, like, Mac DeMarco chill shit, you know? I'm not really, like, I don't know. I get, it changes. Seasonal. I have, like,
my buddy saw
music taste.
My buddy saw Mac DeMarco live.
I wish. I was gonna go see them, and I was gonna go see Mac DeMarco in the Garden in Atlanta. I'd have to drive like 5 hours, but my friend bailed on me. Yeah. So it's so fun to go like by yourself.
Yeah, my buddy bailed on me. I was trying to see Doug Stanhope with him in Philly, but he unfortunately bailed. It's not entirely his fault. He couldn't get a shift taken at work. He tried to switch with the guy, but he couldn't. But I was under the impression that he was coming, so I went along. It's fine. There's Doug Stanhope.
Yes.
Everybody listens to him.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Sorry, it's like off topic, but
I don't care. We can change the topic.
Have you seen the end of the tour?
That sounds very familiar.
It's Jason Segel, Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was all right. I wasn't super impressed by it.
Oh, damn.
I enjoyed it. It's just I forgot about it until now. I liked it, but yeah, I remember I watched that and I was like, "That's good," but then forgot about it for a year. Now you've reminded me.
I think it's time for a rewatch.
Fuck.
No.
I love David Foster Wallace.
If you forgot about it, it doesn't deserve a rewatch.
I made up my mind like as soon as I saw it that it wouldn't be on my list. So
I wasn't entirely serious about the rewatch, by the way. Whoever said that.
Oh, sorry.
That's all good.
Yeah, that picture I just posted. I think Jaden Smith has gold teeth.
he does fucking weird shit every goddamn week. He was wearing dresses for a while.
Kilts.
Just cause. And it's like, okay, if you want to do that, that's fine. But like, he's so desperate to be considered like an important person, you know? Like, in everything Anthony Fantano said about his new record just did not surprise me at all. Like, apparently he compares himself to Martin Luther King twice.
Okay.
And like constantly saying his own name in comparison to other actual groundbreaking artists as though he should be included in that.
He also
it's like you haven't done anything. You fucking acted in After Earth.
He also put in some 9/11 truth or shit in his lyrics, apparently. Like, I only read the review, but like, I would.
Oh, let me look that shit up.
Jaden Smith is a flat earther.
Jaden Smith.
Here's what needs to happen: Jaden Smith and Shia LaBeouf need to do a podcast together.
Oh God, that would be so entertaining.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah, he's funny. He's just not when he forces it, you know.
No, that's when he is the funniest.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny in a different way. He's funny like naturally, but then he forces it. It becomes like a different funny. I don't know.
I don't think there will be like anything forced.
Yeah.
It can eventually get that way, but if we have just two or three solid podcasts of Shia LaBeouf and Jaden Smith going absolutely just berserk and like the other 20 episodes or shit, just as long as we have those three, that's all I need.
Shia LaBeouf is dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with him. He seems sad right now.
He's super entertaining.
As weird as it was, I did kind of like the paper bag thing.
Yeah, that
But
was.
no, he keeps stealing other people's shit. Like that whole art show where he's like, I'm gonna sit in a chair and cry, and you can do whatever you want. He literally ripped that off of Marina Abramovich, who did that well before him, and nobody's even talking about that because nobody knows about her. It's like, fuck. Everything he does is a fucking ripoff, and it pisses me off. And he's gotten busted for plagiarism several times now.
Wow.
He's a very.
I do remember that. I did not know that he did that thing on the stage. I don't pay attention to
him.
What's with this picture, and why are you doing this to me, and why does it exist, and why do I like it so much? Why does this hair remind me that I have to clean my room?
I think the first
he's holding a mop. That's
he
what
looks like
What the fuck are these skins?
I don't like it.
I love it. I hope he keeps doing this shit forever.
Yeah, that makes me want to clean my room too, actually.
I mean, I'm CT about things. This is pretty clean, but I got a vacuum.
Like
dust.
I mean, I just cleaned my whole house except my room. So
sorry. I was gonna say, like, Jaden Smith has, like, his dreads are detachable.
Apparently,
is that what he's holding in the
he
picture?
shaved it to like make a point or something.
And
then he brought them to the red carpet. He shaved it and then he brought them to the red carpet.
He carried it.
See, at this point, Will Smith has to know he fucked up.
Like
he has to know he fucked up.
You know, Willow
at this
Smith
point.
had a good run there for that one time.
As in, she had a song called "Whip My Hair Back and Forth."
Yeah, she was like
That's about
13.
But it doesn't matter because she didn't write it.
You know, that's fine.
She didn't write it. She has nothing to do with that song other than being a fucking puppet for the song.
I know.
Somebody else's song.
Like
Bullshit.
Will Smith just like, you know, he tried to make
shove you into the mainstream. Love my children.
Yep.
You'd better love my children.
Willow didn't really care for it, but Jaden was like, "Oh shit, bro, I better."
I
some
need
wild
this
stuff. I need it. This is what I deserve.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's not good parenting. I would love the benefits that come with being an heir to the Smith family fortune, but I feel like I would rather not be a detached, shitty person living in a bubble who has no concept of struggle or reality. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like that is the real abuse in that situation. I'm happier being not as wealthy, but having more perspective on reality.
I kind of want to Photoshop Jaden Smith's face onto the avant-garde guy.
Yeah.
He even produced the other actor.
We made Will Smith's sperm famous.
Mm-hmm.
There was someone talking about Taxi Driver on the live chat. Whoever said that, you're awesome. It's a great movie.
What is?
Mm-hmm.
Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro. This is the
Taxi
one where
banger.
you talking to me.
Yeah,
Great movie.
That was apparently ad-libbed, and it wasn't even planned.
That's very true.
Fun movie fact. Did you know that Leo DiCaprio cut his hand for real?
Wow.
And then he kept going.
I didn't know that.
That's a fun movie fact right there.
Did you know that there wasn't a Munchkin that hung himself on the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's yeah. I mean,
like there was a lot of other shit that happened on. That's the funny thing with all of this shit that happened during the production of the Wizard of Oz. Like, seriously, read about it. It's a miracle that movie got made.
Wasn't Dorothy like the symbol for like lesbians for a while? Wasn't she a lesbian and they almost canceled it because of that? Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
They're like, are you a Dorothy?
Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, that happened. But like Wizard of Oz, the production, like Toto got stepped on. The woman who played the Wicked of the Witch of the West got burned after she did, I'll get you, my pretty, and your dog too. Like,
the guy that was supposed to play the Tin Man was allergic to the lead paint or something.
I
don't know, some kind of paint.
We talk about Harvey Weinstein now, and that's pretty awful. Harvey Weinstein was awful, but like the shit that they did in like old school Hollywood was like way worse. Judy Garland was like bullied and like harassed. She was on uppers and downers.
She was
like an alcoholic. She was bullied by the entire set, but guess who was the only nice person on the entire set to her?
The dog.
Well, that too, but human.
Actually, the dog pissed on her once.
Good.
I made that up.
It's probably true, though. They just didn't write it down.
The one nice person, the only person who was nice to Judy on the set was the Wicked Witch of the West.
It's not too
and
that
movie got, so that movie had like a bunch of different directors because like the guy who did that was also doing Gone with the Wind at the time. Like that movie was just such a shit show to make. Like that's why it's weird. Like out of all things that you could have focused on, you focus on this supposed Munchkin hanging himself, which actually didn't happen.
Yeah, I remember looking for it. I remember like pausing and being like, where is it? Because like there was a time when conspiracy theories could run much more rampant than they currently can. Because now there's always going to be people that are like, that's bullshit. If you're talking on a public enough forum that isn't Facebook. But yeah, I remember there was this like stupid fucking dumb conspiracy website that I looked up when I was like 13 or something. Between 13. Yeah, I think I must have been 13. I was just like, I found it so scary. I'm like, whoa, it's crazy. And then I grew up.
Yeah.
You still shouldn't have drank that water. While you're gay now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That was an Alex Jones joke.
Oh. I'm a soy boy. I think that's the new best insult that conservatives have made. Soy boy.
Is that like a...
Conservatives are filled with the best insults. Cuck? It's so funny.
I love cuck.
Soy boy?
No, okay. You know that one cuck comic that was like going around Twitter?
Oh, the bike cuck?
Did you see the one where somebody drew that as the fucking
all the memes are so great.
McQueen saying, I fucked your mom shit lips.
What?
Yeah, it was a picture. It was like in that style, and it was Lightning McQueen, and it's like, I fucked your mom shit lips.
The bike cuck meme is probably my favorite of the year.
Yeah, didn't Owl?
I might like it more than the Tingo's Scra. I might like it more than Big Shaq.
The Tango Scra?
How many the thing that I did in my Stranger Things video?
I actually didn't get that.
That's a good meme.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bike cuck meme is like so good. Because it's like I don't know. The Altered, the guy who made the comic, he makes good comics. He's got a very consumable, shareable style and a good sense of humor. But he's kind of like far to the like SJW side if you've read his tweets. And sometimes it shows in his comics. But I still love him, and that bike comic is definitely one of those.
Better than Adam Tot.
That really
like Adam Tot's style is terrible, in my opinion. I mean, it's okay, but Adam Tot's the dude who works for BuzzFeed. They compare him.
Oh, that
to
of course. Oh, of course.
I mean, they don't compare.
They're very different. Did you die? Did you died?
F.
Well, paid respects, but yeah, that one comic. It's just like I don't understand how you can like it's a nice kind of like utopian way of being able to look at the world and saying like, oh, it doesn't matter what bad thing happens to me because the total happiness in the world increases from the other person who totally screwed me over, and I guess it's not a big deal. And it's a nice sort of like, you know, don't get too upset about things. But the way that the logic is presented in the comic, it's like you would have to know what you're basically asking for when you post that. Because then all of a sudden it's like anybody who ever pisses you off, you're like, he's like, hey guys, can you please stop doing this? And then people are like, oh, but my total happiness is greater than that of the pain that you're feeling right now. So no, because the total happiness in the world is increased. And also, you know, it's a little... The issue that I had with the logic in the comic is like, you're very much speaking from a privileged class if you're able to say, someone stole my bike, but, you know, they're probably pretty happy about it. Like, if you needed that bike to like get to work or something and you didn't have any fucking money in your bank account, I don't think you'd be saying that. You know? Like you're kind of ignoring poor people when you write that, you know. So
I actually did not realize you were talking about that meme until you were talking about that whole happiness thing. I sometimes I feel like I'm a normie when people say memes that I don't know how I can say it. Never mind.
That's fine.
It is fairly recent, so
it's a funny meme. I like the one.
Great meme.
I like the one where he was replaced with Misty from Pokemon.
Speaking of memes,
I don't know. She was kind of pissed about it. Yeah.
Thanks for the spinning.
Yay.
There's been a lot of edits of the bike cuck meme, and it's really funny.
Oh, it's so good.
I like the ones where they like draw their own edits. Those are good.
Yeah. He did, did you see he did his own edit of the bike cuck meme for net neutrality? Yeah.
I enjoyed that one.
Check.
And it's like, yeah, he's not a bad person at all. He has a sense of humor and he can like poke fun at himself too. I like the guy a lot.
I do know some people I like that are kind of a little too far to the left like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a couple of friends like that, and I just don't bother bringing anything up to them like that. I just keep it to like friendly conversations and nothing about politics or anything because they get too heated.
Oh yeah.
A lot of YouTubers like do that. My favorite YouTuber is, besides you, Adam, of course. I love you, boo. But Lindsay Ellis, who used to be the Nostalgia. No, really, her video on Ren is seriously good stuff. She makes a lot of good points, but like her recent video is like about Pirates of the Caribbean, and she did a great job just analyzing the first movie and like how it almost shouldn't have been made because it was plagued by so many production issues. And like she keeps on talking about this, and it builds up to like her talking about how Johnny Depp is like kind of a piece of shit now. Like apparently he has sexual harassment allegations against him too. I didn't know that, and I guess that's valid. in
He
like
did
Yeah, like
before
last
this
year.
is happening, but
Last
like
year
how
or
does it have
something.
anything to do what we were previously talking about?
Yeah,
It
I
was
mean,
something about the abuse, the sexual.
yeah, like last year, his girlfriend said she got hit by him and like posted pictures of her black eye or something, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, you're a piece of shit." And I mean, you shouldn't hit your girlfriend, but you know.
I think.
I
well,
don't
I
know.
mean,
I mean, it's still allegations. Too.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
That's what I was gonna say. It's screwed up, but you still got to take it like with a grain of salt. That it might not be true at all. You need a little bit of evidence.
I mean, like, wasn't she trying to like get money out of a divorce at the time when she brought that up, or?
Yeah, and
this is
you're not sure.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be the first time, something like that has happened. So you can't really. I don't know. Like, there's so many people in this like recent scandal in Hollywood where you hear it and then you're like, I'm not surprised. And the Harvey Weinstein, it's like, I don't think there's many people arguing that he didn't do it. Like, because it's like an everybody knew it sort of thing. And there's like audio of him like being a fucking creep and like, there's so many of them where it's like, okay, yeah, this probably happened.
I didn't know.
And then
it was at
slipped
first.
in there's accusations that no one really knows, but they're treated as just as legitimate. Like there's that guy that that recently got fired from TYT.
The Young Turks.
Oh yeah, one of their reporters had an allegation thrown against him, and so he got fired because like the company, in Jank were like, well, gotta fire you, even though there's like no evidence of this thing happening. And the guy wrote like this lengthy blog post on Medium, just being furious that they believed without any sort of investigation. And it's like, I don't know. I've always I've heard people make the argument that you should get rid of due process for allegations from women against men specifically. And the argument seems to be, well, if you prosecute anyone for making a false rape claim, then that would discourage victims from coming out. But I don't understand that logic, because you can't prosecute someone for making a false rape claim unless you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that that's what happened. And if you couldn't do that for someone who didn't make it up. You would have to find like texts and email conversations of someone admitting, yes, I'm making this up, here's my plan, sort of thing. I don't understand how that would discourage actual victims from coming out, is what I find strange about that logic.
It's a really icky subject, and like, I mean, you should believe the women, but to be fair, women are also a lot of them are douches too. So,
well, yeah, human beings, if you give them an opportunity to take advantage of someone else and say, here's an easy way you can screw someone over, they'll do it. It's not a woman thing, it's a human thing, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If men are in that same position of power like Harvey Weinstein, he'll find a way to fucking take advantage of women, So
I mean, we shouldn't like not take any of them seriously, but we shouldn't take them we should take them seriously, but you shouldn't like undoubtedly believe everyone.
Like if a friend comes up to you saying that, you don't go, are you lying about it? You treat it as though they're telling the truth and you give them support. But when it comes to prosecuting someone and putting someone in jail, that's when you really need to be scrutinous.
Yeah.
It's when you need to, because, the weight of throwing someone in jail for something that they may or may not have done. And anyone can lie, anyone can be mistaken. To suggest otherwise is just not being honest. There was recently an accusation against someone that Lena Dunham worked with while she was on a set of Girls. And she's really good friends with this person. And so accusations were thrown out at this person. And Lena Dunham immediately came out and said, looks like this is one of those situations of the 3% of misreported or untrue sexual assault claims. And what's fucking funny about it is you scroll back on her Twitter and she has a tweet saying things women lie about, what they ate for lunch, things women don't lie about, rape. And it's like, well,
Yeah,
never. I mean, like, you
What?
can choose.
women only lie about petty
you're-
things.
Didn't she like
you're-
torture his sister as a kid or
Oh
something?
yeah,
like,
she's a
keep her
fucking
hostage?
pedophile rapist herself.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, she's a
God.
disgusting crazy bitch. But I find it like if you're going to commit to that logic, if you were literally going to come out and say no one lies about rape, then you can't just all of a sudden change the way you think about this as soon as it's affecting someone close to you, because that's fucking bullshit. That's fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stop giving blanket rules for everything. Understand that there's some nuance in the world and not everything is black and white, and yes, some people do lie and some people don't lie, right? So don't fucking I hate her. She's a fucking hypocrite.
She's crazy.
Disgusting human being.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even know anyone that supports her. Like, who supports her? Who's letting her do this?
It's one of those things where like her like inception, her the way she was like thrust out into the world was very much people considered her this symbol of sex positive feminism because she's a little overweight and she was naked all the time in her show Girls. And so as soon as people give her that label, as soon as there's a million Salon articles about like, this is the poster child for our movement, then after that point, it becomes very difficult to disassociate with that. And then so these same people and all these organizations that propped her up as this, now it's like, no matter what she does, it's like, uh-oh, if I say anything bad about Lena Dunham, I'm discrediting the movement that I attached her to. And I think that's part of the problem, is that if she wasn't, considered to be that, then people would have less of an issue. To Awesome Fam. The Hangout invites are sent to people on the Patreon of the $10 bracket or above, or people that send $10 donations via email. But it would have to be... You'd get into the next Hangout if you sent a donation now, because I don't want to be constantly checking them during the Hangout.
Yeah, when it came to October, I assumed that I was too late to get in. And then when I got the invite, it's like, oh shit, I am not prepared for this.
Whoops.
Oh yeah, I thought I wasn't gonna be able to make it to this hangout because like I had stuff to do, but it ended quickly.
I work on Saturday, so I rarely get the chance.
Yeah, prior to this, I just missed every window, and I was like, fuck, next time.
I'm just glad I survived this live stream and got to be on it, because last time I was here, I said some crazy shit.
Woo!
That was fun.
Yeah, I just started becoming a Patreon this month because I got all my stuff sorted out. And
I very much appreciate it.
You're the first person I've ever Patreoned.
I heard a "Hey Adam" very faintly about 30 seconds ago.
Sorry, yeah, that was me. I have to go now, but
Bye.
Thank you for stopping by. Yes, please.
Two
Ask your
questions.
question. Yes, go for it.
So, There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men both came out in 2007. I think they're some of the greatest films. Which do you like better?
They're both amazing. I think I probably like No Country better.
Hey, fucking man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, No Country feels more like a masterpiece. I think it might be. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a Coen Brothers movie that I like better.
The Big Lebowski.
No, I don't like that better than
The Big Lebowski is their best movie, and it is literally a goddamn masterpiece.
All right.
Yeah.
Second question before you leave, though.
So,
Let's not keep them.
I'm actually looking. You live in Vancouver, correct?
I do.
Okay. I'm looking at places in Vancouver to move there because the U.S. is kind of shitty, and I just want to get out. Is it like a good city, a nice city to live in? Like, would you recommend it?
I moved here, and I enjoy. I mean, if you like film, the film scene, the art scene, if you like having, a lot of things to do, really nice scenery, really awesome food, like everything about Vancouver is awesome, except the housing market. So you're gonna find I don't know where you're moving from. So unless you're moving from like LA or New York, you're probably gonna find that the amount you'd spend on renting a place, or even owning a place, but I would not suggest owning a place in Vancouver just because it's so expensive. The amount that you'd spend on renting a place, you're going to get a much, probably smaller house than the same amount you would spend elsewhere. But I mean, to me, it's all worth it just for the city itself and everything that it has to offer, and really good public transit. Really, I love the weather. People complain about the rain in the winter, but I don't give a shit. I love the weather here.
I love rain.
Man, it's just some of the best food in the world. Best sushi outside of Japan, best Asian food in general outside of Asia. And yeah, everything about Vancouver I love.
Cool.
But yeah, the housing market is the worst part about the city, and it's pretty bad. So
it's pretty bad everywhere, though. It's
pretty bad everywhere, sure, but Vancouver is legitimately the most expensive market in North America, statistically.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, it's like the second highest, worst housing market outside of Hong Kong. Yeah, I mean, it's worth it to me. It's worth it to a lot of people, but there's a lot of people that leave here just because they feel like they can't. They don't have a sense of longevity to their future plans. A lot of people wind up leaving Vancouver and going to Ontario or sometimes Alberta, just because they're like, well, I want to buy a house and I can't do that in Vancouver. So,
okay.
I mean, that's the only thing. Is I live with a bunch of roommates and I'm happy with the place that I have.
Cool.
So there's 5 people in my house.
Awesome. All right.
I only have one roommate. I'm lucky.
No problem. Thank you for joining.
All right. No problem. Take care, guys.
Mates.
Yo, you have a good one.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right. I just ordered the Suspiria Restoration Blu-ray that's coming out at the end of the year. I just pre-ordered it, so that'll be my first experience watching Suspiria.
One thing I remember on the last stream, you pulled out a disc for The Mummy, and I saw it was one of those 4K Blu-ray things.
Yes.
Are they that much better than real Blu-rays?
I still,
original Blu-rays, I mean.
I've seen some. So I have a 4K monitor. I don't really have a 4K home theater set up yet, and so I watched some 4K demo content on YouTube and did some 4K gaming shit just to test it out. And the difference there was it looks awesome. And so I want to start doing that with movies. And so right now, the reason why I have a 4K Blu-ray thing for The Mummy, and also La La Land and The Revenant and a few other movies, is because they come in combo packs. And so if there's a combo pack for 4K and regular Blu-ray, I'll buy it, just so that when I have a 4K Blu-ray player, I can start utilizing it. The issue that I have right now is I'll probably get an Xbox One X at some point, and that'll be my 4K Blu-ray player, because cheap 4K Blu-ray player, but also a console.
Yeah.
I just
looking at.
The issue I have right now is right now I have a BenQ like 1080 or 1090W model projector. It's like a 3D 1080p thing, and I love the projector. I think it looks amazing. It works great. But I looked at 4K projector prices a year or two back, and they're all like fucking thousands of dollars. Like, I bought the 3D projector I have right now for like $900, and I split the cost with roommates. So, I don't know. Like, well, if there's like a 3D and 4K, that would be ideal because I still have the glasses or whatever. And I love watching cheesy shit in 3D. We watched Saw 3D. But yeah, let's see. BenQ Pro Cinema projector with 4K. How much is this shit? Because I don't know. I trust their brand. Where's the price? Because who knows? Maybe the prices drop down a little. I know you can get like 4K TVs for not as expensive as they used to be. But if I'm gonna get 4K, I would want it to be like big. You know, I would want it to be like at least 60-inch. And the projector space that we have right now, it's like a 80 or 90-inch or whatever screen. And so I would love to continue doing projectors, but they just seem so fucking expensive. So let's see. I don't know. I'll be looking this up. BenQ projector. 4K. Yeah, on Amazon, it's showing like a bunch of 4K projector for like still thousands of dollars. I don't even know. These ones aren't even 4K. Well, one of them is on Amazon. But I'll have to look up a bunch of different shit.
Who here is playing Zelda in the background?
Oh, sorry, that's me.
No, don't apologize.
It makes me want to play Zelda right now.
Yeah, no, like
I hear some noise.
I suck at it. Like, I have 200 hours, but I just like wander around, and I only get stamina because I just use like the Durans to get extra hearts. So I'm like trading my thousands of stamina wheels for hearts.
Is this Breath of the Wild?
Yes.
I haven't played it yet. The only Zelda games I played every single Zelda game except the ones on the DS. So Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks.
Yeah, those weren't too great.
I never played Triforce Heroes, and I never played Breath of the Wild. But everything else I played, and I have beaten all of them except Zelda 2, because that game is hard as hell.
I used to collect them.
I think that's about it. Oh, the second quest of the first Zelda. I never finished that.
I'm kind of a normie. I only played like Majora's Mask. What's it called? The other one for the 64. But I only played that like on the 64 when I was little. Fucking Ocarina of Time. That was my favorite one. And then I played, the Wii ones. And then I got a Wii U for like $100 off of Amazon.
Lucky.
Last year.
I don't get.
And I bought Breath of the Wild, and that's the only game I have on here. Besides like an emulation of Mario Kart 64, because I don't want to pay $60 for Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Heavily considering getting a Switch.
Yeah, I don't get one.
But I would never stream it. I would only use it like handheld.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought when I got it. But then
Nintendo doesn't want people to fucking stream their shit, then I won't.
I need to. Nintendo does not understand the internet. They only know how to make games. Really, really good games. But they're losing their edge in terms of technology because they still think it's 1997. Apparently, in Japan, like all of their offices are equipped with like computers and machinery that's like from the 90s. So like I can totally understand why Nintendo would be living in the past when it comes to business negotiations. And
they're just assholes about their content.
They are. It's terrible.
It's funny because like it's almost like you want to blame it on them just being from Japan, but Sony doesn't do that shit. Sony has the share button. They want people to fucking.
I went from 3 hearts to 9 hearts.
There was like another incident with a Japanese company, Atlas, the people that made the Persona game.
Oh yeah, that was fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I fucking love Persona 5. Not as much as 4, but it's like I still can't share anything on the PS4 version. Everything related to this share button doesn't work. So even though they backtracked on the whole like 8.8 thing, I still can't take screenshots. And it's so dumb because they were like exploiting YouTube's copyright system to take down videos for reasons unrelated to copyright.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Fuck that copyright thing.
And guess what? I've seen the fucking final boss battle on YouTube, so I kind of got egg on their face for no reason.
The final boss of Breath of the Wild?
No, Persona 5.
Oh, my bad.
I haven't actually played any of, like, I haven't done any of the story of Breath of the Wild. I have 200 hours, and I haven't played any of the story at all, because I don't know why, I just hate doing bosses. I guess it's because I'm a pussy, but I just, Don't
beat yourself up.
It's not that fun to me. It's not really fun to fight, endurance battles.
I do.
I just, like, fucking walk around.
I've been avoiding...
And I have, like, the good armor, and I do the shrines, but I just don't like the bosses.
Yeah, I've been avoiding everything Skyward Sword related online, so as not to spoil my experience.
Skyward Sword.
Did I say? Hold on. Did I say Skyward Sword?
Wait.
Skyward Sword was.
Okay, I'm sorry. I meant to say Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
I played Skyward Sword and I fucking hated it.
I hated Skyward Sword. I beat it in 2 days. That was the worst 2 days of my life.
I'm sorry.
Everybody had great things to say about it.
Skyward Sword.
I haven't played it, but
Skyward was, in general, a good game. As a Zelda game, as a 3D Zelda game, it was terrible. If I were to give it a perfectly, like, just average rating, I'd probably give it a 6 or a 7 out of 10. But just like on the criteria, just like comparing it to like previous Zeldas, probably like a 3 or 4.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was bullshit. It was
because when I played Skyward Sword,
that last dungeon was bullshit. Like, dude, I didn't even register that as a dungeon. I just registered that as like. It was just, oh my god, I hated it.
It was anticlimactic, like that.
Oh my god, especially like that side quest with like the happiness tokens or whatever the fuck. I collected all of them, and he's just like, thanks.
Here's
100 rubies.
They need to stop doing all of these like unnecessary fetch quests.
Yeah,
like Zelda's gone a little bit like overboard. Like with Ocarina of Time fighting those spiders. That was fine. In Majora's Mask, they I guess streamlined that process by putting all of the spiders in like 2 different areas, and there was a trade sequence, but it was like only 5 places, and you can get that done in like a half hour. Like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are probably like the only 2 games I've ever in my life 100%ed on multiple.
I'm gonna be right back. I need to use the
Okay.
I only 100%ed well, I didn't 100% it, but I did the fucking big old fetch quest because I thought I was going to get something cool for Skyward Sword, and it was bullshit, and I was like so mad. Oh my god.
There's no sense of exploration. The whole thing, I remember that coming out, and I was a freshman in college. And
Twilight Princess was so good, I thought it was going to be good.
Twilight Princess was really, really good. I only have like a few complaints with it. Needed to be less linear.
Yeah.
And it needed to be way more difficult. Like, I feel like it was trying to be a better version of Wind Waker, but
I mean, it was long though. I mean, it wasn't difficult, but it was long, and it was long enough to kind of justify it not being too difficult, because you could play it for longer even if you were really good. There was still a lot of content. You got a lot of content. So
which game?
Twilight Princess.
What I was gonna say,
Princess, it did have a lot of content for me. I don't know if it was really that difficult. The final boss fight with Ganon, the sword fight, I seriously did not get hit once. Like,
yeah, I finished that in one try.
So I didn't even know that you could like just use the fishing rod on him either. I just button mashed and I won.
Really?
I was gonna say,
The Zelda games have gotten so easier over the years. It's the main problem I have with Wind Waker. Add more, like, if Wind Waker was easier and they had like just one extra dungeon, it would have been a perfect game.
I have Wind Waker because I got it for $10 on sale at Walmart after I bought my Wii U, but I never played it because I just don't like the art style and it really turns me off to it. I mean, I know it's a Zelda game, but
you need to play it. It's an experience. It's like it is the most anime of any Zelda game. It's basically like, I don't know.
Like, I played the first dungeon,
but
and it was okay, but my brother finished it, but I just never did.
It's a great game. Like, don't let appearances fool you. Or if you want to just do something better than just play Okami.
Yeah.
Like, Okami is great. I need to play that.
I still haven't played Okami.
I
played a bit on the Wii.
It's basically like a
gigantic.
Well, yeah. Play it. It's an experience. That game is a fucking trip.
The PS4 game is coming out soon.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody shits on Skyrim for having so many HD remakes, but nobody says a word about Okami. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with Skyrim HD remakes. I just wish they were a little bit more mod friendly.
I mean, Bethesda, they're trying to get better, even if it is through endless remakes of the same game. They're trying.
Skyrim is the definitive PC Master Race game. Playing it on vanilla is fine, but like when you do that, the Civil War needed to be fixed. The final fight against Alduin was too easy. Like, there's so many things in that game that you can just easily mod. That game demands to be played on PC.
Yeah, I have it on console, but I don't play it on console because I feel fake. But no, I only have a Wii U and I have an Xbox 360 I got for $40 off of eBay. So like all my console games are just like either Nintendo or I got them for $10 off of eBay. So
I'm actually still that person. I don't have a PS4 anymore. I have Nintendo everything.
Yeah,
I was looking up stuff about projectors.
I have 3 different DSs. And like 3 different DS models right now, currently, that work. I have a 4th one, but it does not work. I don't know why it doesn't work.
I'm kind of done with the
will
DS.
not take it back.
I'm really not interested in the DS anymore.
I only play it for like Bravely Default because I never beat that and I'm still grinding. I
never played it. I shouldn't say I never played it. I never finished it.
True story.
It's a lot of grinding. I play it once in a while.
I'm playing Final Fantasy VI.
Oh yeah, me too.
That game is grind fest. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't.
Playing Final Fantasy VI on an emulator is great because if I just want to grind, I can just speed up the game like 10 times and and it'll take me like 10 minutes to do what I could have done in an hour previously. Like, same thing with like the first Dragon Quest game. The first Dragon Quest game demands that like you speed things up because grinding is so boring. And that game is like so big. The world map is just like so big. It's traveling so slow.
The problem with Bravely Default for me is it's probably just because I suck at video games. But like there's like this one boss like around the 3rd dungeon that's just like there's like a huge curve Like it goes from, moderate where you have to level up 10 levels between like the beginning of the dungeon and the end of the dungeon, and it takes like an hour to level up. So you have to do a shit ton of grinding.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
It's terrible.
It kind of seems like the conversation has gone a little one-sided.
I have zero input on any of these things.
I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what. I got to go to the bathroom and take a break. I have a tendency to run my mouth sometimes, so
it's just a topic where like nobody, other than you two, have any opinion on it.
I'll be back.
It's your stream.
No problem. Well, the people, it's your guys' stream as well, but also
it's your stream. They're there for you.
Let's talk about The Mummy.
It was it was a good film.
Someone has
It was fun. It was funny.
By the way, is my mic coming in?
Yes, your mic's fine.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
I think I mentioned The Mummy on the other stream when I picked up the Blu-ray.
You showed us the day.
I don't really have.
What did you do?
Too much to say about it. What's happening?
My cat just like fucking broke a glass.
That's what cats do.
Yes.
It's your own fault for having a cat.
I had like a couple of barking dogs in here earlier, but I got rid of them.
Cats are jerks.
Yeah, he's just laying on this table knocking shit over.
They don't give a shit about your stuff.
His name is Mao because that's the sound he makes.
Chairman Mao?
Yes. No, just Mao.
I actually saw...
Oh, man.
He comes to whatever. Like, if you call him something long enough, he'll come to it. So he comes to Stinky and Fat Ass and Mao. So...
Cats are the worst.
Yeah, I am allergic, so I haven't owned it in a long time.
Cats don't love you.
I don't know. I think he just uses me because...
Exactly.
See, what happens is he would wake me up in the middle of the night so often that I ended up just putting his food, like the entire bag of food, on the floor and just opened it. And he'd just eat out of it. I'm not kidding, because he'd wake me up like several times a night every time I stopped.
Cats are fucking jerks.
So I'd have to, I'd just do that, and then when he gets mad when I change it, and he gets mad when I don't do that anymore, and he like throws up everywhere, and I hate him.
I have.
There is one cat that loves you.
I have a Shih Tzu that I am convinced is literally retarded.
Small dogs are pretty retarded.
Yeah, well,
big dogs are stupid
we've literally
too.
inbred them into being stupid.
Yeah.
I have one Shih Tzu that's kind of smart, but the other ones are really stupid.
Yeah, I have 3 small dogs, and the only one that's particularly dumb is the Shih Tzu. Who, okay, I say I own them, but they're at my mom's house where I'm usually not. I am right now. So I decided to try and surprise them by sneaking into the living room while they were outside. And the only one that spotted me was the Shih Tzu. And she ran at me and ran head fucking first into a goddamn mesh door thing, a screen door.
Was its fur trimmed? Because Shih Tzus don't shed, do they?
No.
Because if it had like a bunch of fur in front of its hair in front of its eyes, then
I don't remember what kind of dog it was. It was like a collie, like a mini collie. There's like a different name for him. But anyway, there was like this fenced in area, and what he used to do is he used to run like lengthwise through the fenced area, and there was a house on one side and a garage, and he just like slam his entire body against the house and then run across and slam his entire body against the garage, and there were like dirt marks in like the shape of the dog from where he would slam his body repeatedly into the house and the garage.
my parents My parents had a Shih Tzu. He was a jerk. He was very mean, very angry.
Huh.
So small dogs are jerks.
My mom has a bulldog she found in the street, and he's nice. He's really dumb though. He's really dumb. It's sad. It's very dumb.
Taking dogs from
His
the street.
name is Booger. Yeah, we live in a poor area where people just don't buy their dogs, so in the middle of nowhere. So, yeah, she has so many dogs.
Well, it's either that or like euthanization, right?
Yeah. Well, you can't really euthanize the area because there's nothing to do. You have to drive like an hour to get to Walmart.
What?
Yeah. And 3 hours to the nearest mall.
Like to the.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've.
To a fucking Walmart.
But I mean, there's no like animal control.
No.
There's no number.
Nope. There's no animal control. They just run wild.
Jesus.
Like, I've had
crazy.
there've been a couple dogs that have died because of other dogs. Like our dogs, like we had a couple dogs that have died because they got attacked by just like random dogs walking down the street. And like there's chickens in the street and shit. Like I'm not joking when I say it's in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like my neighbor had a horse.
Look at this fucking retard. Look at this idiot.
Oh no. What a Dumbo.
Aww.
I don't like small dogs as much.
I do.
I think big dogs are better. Sorry?
How small? Like
they're midget mutants that we've inbred.
Which dogs are small? Like precisely, like
Shih Tzus are small. Chihuahuas are small.
Oh yeah,
my grandfather has Chihuahuas. He has 2 Chihuahuas.
Yeah.
They are evil, actually. They will literally fight each other, like, constantly.
Corgis are, like, big enough that it's, like, they're not completely annoying, I guess.
I had a Corgi.
Like, shibbies.
Like, he's 3 months old. We had it for 1 month. He's a pretty sweet guy, I think.
I just don't like it when dogs get so small that they're always annoying. You know? When they just like don't stop shutting up.
I don't know. It seems to me everyone like complains about dog, and I never had one. I just got one 1 month ago, and he was pretty nice, I think. I don't know how dumb he is. He seems to get everything pretty fast. He knows where to.
Big dogs can be annoying, but I mean, like, big dogs you can like train better, and they're not as like.
I found that little dogs, they seem to be really full of themselves, and
they're
big dogs like are always like scared of little dogs for some reason if they're not trained. Like I know my mom's bulldog is like 90 pounds, and he's afraid of the little Chihuahua across the street.
Speaking of being afraid of a Chihuahua, there's like a friend of the family who brings a Chihuahua sometimes. And apparently when it was outside, there was a fucking coyote outside the fence, and the Chihuahua went after it, and the coyote ran away.
That's lovely.
Hilarious. My parents also had an Old English sheepdog.
Ooh.
At the same time as the Shih Tzu.
We had a goat once. It drank its own piss. Yes. It drank its own piss. It would like bend down underneath and just like a water fountain sort of thing.
Oh no.
Is it as an ultimate survivorship? Like, why would he do that?
He was dumb.
Animals are fucking crazy.
We traded the goat for to my stepdad's uncle, and that goat ran away with the other goats in his neighborhood. So
that sounds crazy.
It's Alabama. Like y'all don't know.
Y'all.
I'm serious. Like the South is pretty wild. Like it's very.
I believe it.
Like.
There's a lot of places in America that are just like ignored.
It's very extreme. Like
infrastructure-wise.
Like the only place to eat in my town was a gas station. So like the rich kids would go to the gas station and eat at the deli, and that was like, oh my god, I can't believe you got the gas station food. Wow, I'm so jealous.
I live in Diet Canada, also known as Minnesota, USA.
Why Diet Canada? why is
It's kind of a stigma we have for some reason.
People call it Diet Canada?
Yeah, it's like really fucking cold out, and a lot of people have that kind of stereotypical northern accent. And
I don't know why you call it Diet Canada though. Diet. What about that describes what you're describing it as?
Boneless Canada.
I'm telling you what other people call it.
I have never heard that.
I live in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. It's an hour away from Philly. It's an absolute shithole here. The only thing significant is that Daryl Hall of Hall & Oates was born and raised here. I don't know if anybody's a Hall & Oates fan.
I love Hall & Oates.
There you go. That's our finest export.
Thank God.
I'm not familiar.
I've
heard of it, but
80s band.
You know Hall & Oates songs, even if you don't know about it.
They're pretty.
You make my dreams come true. You ooh 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 ooh.
That song, Man Eater.
All right, guys. I have to go. Sorry, what?
Unfortunately, I think that's a fine one. Sorry.
You gotta go.
Yeah. But Adam, I just had I had one bad movie recommendation for you.
Yes.
Like, oh man. All right. So I'm tempted to tell you the twist of this movie, but it's, oh man, no, you have to see it.
Just say the movie.
Unspoiled. It's called The Samaritan. It's fucking awful.
Samaritan.
The Samaritan stars Sam L. Jackson.
2012.
Yep, easily his worst movie.
Oh wow. Has a 37 Metascore. Okay.
Yep.
I'll check it out.
So check it out. You'll enjoy it.
Directed by David Weaver.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for
no
your
problem.
patronage.
All right,
Bye bye. This hangout will go on for another 20 to 30 minutes.
Cool.
Before I shut it down.
Nice.
What is a classic movie that you have or anybody has just seen, and it's like everybody goes up to you and goes, "What? You have finally only up to now seen this movie?"
The Princess Bride. Our film club at my college played The Princess Bride once, and like a bunch of people came in. And they're like, I've never seen it. And everyone's like,
Yeah,
you've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
I did compose
The only,
of like a bunch of famous movies I need to see, like Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
I didn't. I've seen parts of it. It looks boring. I didn't watch it.
I just feel like there's no rush to a lot of them. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they're still gonna be there
Yeah.
in a year.
Movies aren't
The
going
only-
anywhere.
Yeah. Like,
Unless
I don't
that
know.
unless that net neutrality thing goes through. That's fucking terrible.
There's still been.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's
I
just an America thing though, because America.
it is an America thing. Meanwhile,
great.
Canada's like strengthening net neutrality. So we're taking the opposite approach.
It's great. I mean, honestly, I might, if I had money, I would move to Canada. I mean, I know it's expensive, but like America is just crazy.
I mean, not all of Canada is expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe compared to America, it might be a little expensive.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm used to living in the poorer areas.
Yeah, it's gonna be more expensive than buttfuck nowhere America.
Then the goats. Your goat runs away with other goats. Like our
I hear
chickens
that
would
when-
get attacked in the middle of the night. And we lived in town, and we had chickens, and they would get attacked in the middle of the night by who knows what. That was nice.
You heard that what?
I heard that when Trump was still in the general election, people were saying that Nova Scotia was going to be like going to open its gates to Americans fleeing his presidency or something. I don't know if that was true or not.
That's not true.
It's something I heard.
Massive Legend says, "Did I mention I like you? Just making sure. Awesome stream. I'm listening to it while walking my dog. Heart dog. Thank you very much."
Porker.
Sorry, what?
Porker.
Hmm?
A dog. A borker. A dog.
Porker. I thought you said porker.
I'm
like,
a Norman.
What? Yeah, America is probably one of the most divided countries on the planet.
It's terrible.
It's funny because like as soon as Shia LaBeouf comes out with his "He Will Not Divide Us" campaign, I mean, as soon as you create the campaign, you're admitting he's divided you. So, I mean,
it's always been divided.
Yeah, it wasn't Trump that divided
stuff
the country.
too.
Trump wouldn't have been elected if the country wasn't divided already.
The biggest problem we actually face as a country, I feel, is political division. And that's why, honestly, I'm tired of whataboutism. What about Hillary? What about Donald? Like, I'm so sick and tired of this. What I'm honestly considering doing next election is I want to do, like, research on who I should vote for: governor, senator, representative. Like, I'll actually do the research, do the homework, and I'll vote for even a few Republicans who I might not agree with a whole lot, but they're sane, they're willing to listen to the other side. And honestly, there are some things, tiny some things that conservatives say about economics that are kind of true. So
Yeah.
sure. But I will not vote for president. I'm tired of it.
Thank you again,
I'll vote for
Massive
everybody
Legends.
else. So box is over.
I know a lot of people who have immigrated to the United States and love it. Obviously, there's worse countries to live in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's tons of countries that have political disagreements on issues where the country is, like, split on certain issues. But only in America, well, I mean, out of developed countries, only in America is it this incredibly hostile in terms of differing political views. It's like the backbone of America, like the country is founded on just being stubborn, Like look at a map of the countries in the world that use the metric system, or Fahrenheit. It's like America's just a stubborn fucking country that will never admit when it's done something wrong or when it'll never admit that the other side could possibly be right or change its mind about something, and that's part of why American political discourse is the way that it is right now, where people are just fucking beating each other up and running each other over politics, like
it's very tiring.
I don't know.
It's
Canada
really
had
annoying.
like the most heated political federal election in the past like 40 years. Nobody got beat up. Like nobody fucking lost their shit.
Yeah,
somebody else. Like we voted.
What I put up a link to a video that basically describes how I feel. This is America's been at its most divided since Vietnam, basically, and I think there's a graph that shows that like in 1993 or whatever, there was only a tiny amount of Americans. I think it was like less than 17% of registered Republicans and Democrats, both sides. 17% of people on both sides thought that the other side was dangerous to this country. Now it's 1 in 2, and you have an election that was basically advertised like the Super Bowl. Like if you watch CNN and MSNBC,
It was
like
man. The political debates between Trump and Hillary, those intros that they animated, it was like it's the start of a wrestling program.
I mean,
it was like the fucking WWE, like Trump versus Hillary, wow, like explosions. It was so surreal. Like that doesn't happen in any other country.
That was weird. There was like when the Republicans were going up against each other. Like Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and all these fucking idiots literally got into who has a bigger dick contest.
Oh yeah, it's such a shit show.
Did you ever hear about how Ted Cruz had to have like personal bodyguard detail for a couple months because people kept asking him if he was the Zodiac killer? Like,
that's funny.
He had people would come up to him and ask him after he dropped out if he was the Zodiac killer, and he had to have like personal guard detail.
I hope he is, so he can go to jail forever, and I don't have to hear about him anymore.
It seems as though like every president the United States is going to have for the next foreseeable future is just going to be basing their campaign on undoing what the previous president did.
Yep.
That's like, literally everyone. Every single
it's like there's no real progress. You're just like stagnant forever while the rest of the world is like developing and progressing.
And I mean, to be fair, they're all pretty bad at it too.
I mean, like America, we're at, in this current year, it would be so difficult to have like a civil war or a secession or whatever. You couldn't divide America into like two places, because as much as people would like that, as a lot of people would be like, okay, let's take middle America and separate everywhere else, like.
The scary thing is that I don't think that fact
California supposed to secede?
Yeah, California and Texas keep threatening.
Yeah, I don't think that alone would be enough to be like, it's not going to stop them. People are going to fight over whatever they want. They'll try to succeed.
This is true, but there's like staggering differences in political discourse in the United States. Like it's extremes.
Like they're saying, they're talking about how bad Obama was, but like they can't name one thing that he did wrong. Like make people be able to afford.
Yeah, I could too.
Like, I mean, yeah, he's done wrong, but they act like the good stuff is bad. Like the healthcare thing. I know it's not perfect, but like I couldn't.
That was a step forward.
I couldn't afford healthcare. Like I hadn't been to the doctor in like 10 years, but then I was able to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
So it helped. He helped poor people, and then Trump's like, "Oh, I don't like that."
America has a very apprehensive attitude towards free handouts or any sort of like governmental social programs.
Yeah, just talk to my dad about that.
Yeah, America really has fucking beef with that shit, which is why in the next 20 years, when basic income is going to become an absolute necessity for global economy or federal economy in different countries, Canada is going to adopt it for sure. We're going to have basic income. We're going to be fine. You guys are screwed. America's never going to let that shit happen. You try to implement basic income in the U.S., no fucking way. Done. Toast. End of your country. Predicting it.
Dude, I'm telling you this. And I honestly think that America is over right now. We have a shit poster as a president.
You're getting there.
I don't think that Donald Trump is as bad as everybody makes him out to be.
Like fat and ugly. He's like, well, I called you short and fat.
I said that earlier. I might tweet that. I'll say it again. How dare Adam sit here and insult me by calling me Jewish when I would never call him too gay to lift, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's honestly the point where it's like, people wonder why I don't take politics seriously anymore. Just read that tweet. And then there's a picture. So Alex Jones reposted that tweet and he said top keck. And then that was retweeted by a dude that was called Naruto themed blowjob for weed. I will post it. You're living
in a joke.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's one very entertaining reality TV show special for the rest of the world.
I mean, to be
But you're
fair,
living
Donald
it.
Trump did host
We're
reality
living in an
TV shows,
alternate
so
dimension. Okay? This is not real. And
this is the worst timeline.
to prove it, here's another thing. This sentence is not only factually true, but it's grammatically correct. Mostly. It's a little bit long-winded, but this is the reality we live in. I could put this as a headline. Recently, NBA superstar visited Dennis Rodman. NBA superstar Dennis Rodman visited North Korea as an ambassador to an America now led by Donald Trump, who recently tweeted about wanting to wrestle a CNN news reporter on WWE SmackDown. That is all true.
Sums things up pretty well.
I want
to.
We're living in a shit post.
It's almost weird. It's like a Patton Oswalt joke where it's like Bush is president, Arnold Schwarzenegger is governor. Like, it's almost like so crazy and cynical and bad now that it's like almost paradoxically weird and fun.
You know, did you see that? Did you see that when the election was happening? Jeb Bush, he posted a picture of cowboy boots with Jeb written on them and said, "Got my debating boots on."
Let
Did
the
you
Russian
see that?
boy speak.
Snake in my boots.
Let the Russian boy speak.
I just want to say, you know, you talk about how this everything becomes shit, but it's at least something to talk about, right? Yeah, you know, we had Putin all the way. It's just depressing. You think you're depressed? No, not really.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you could just not know these things are even happening, and you'd be the exact same.
Yeah, but like, is there more depressing things? I hear the same news story all the time. Russia, Trump, Harvey Weinstein.
I heard Russia's
all very redundant. With regards to Trump, people need to realize this. Trump is an awful failure of a president, but he's more embarrassing than he is a threat. Weren't we supposed to get nuked by North Korea? Well,
we're 25% of the way through his presidency, so we'll see.
Yeah. But so far, he's just... I think Mike Pence will be worse. That's why I'm worried about him.
That's a scary alternative.
Yeah,
That's his
terrifying.
best safety net, is that nobody wants Mike Pence.
Yeah.
He's somehow
it's like
worse.
What Andre said. Donald Trump has the best insurance policy out of any president. I guarantee anybody who hates Donald Trump now, if he gets impeached, not even like 4 months into a Mike Pence presidency, and everybody will want to go back to the days of Don Juan.
Literally the day after, like, abortion is illegal federally.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Mike Pence has experience. He knows what he's doing. Rasputin, Dick Cheney, the power behind the throne is oftentimes more powerful than the throne itself.
The Massive Legends made a comment earlier saying that they believe that basic income will not work. But, you know, the issue that we're facing is not like, oh, hey, let's give everybody some money right now because just for shits and giggles. The issue we're facing is that automation is going to replace gigantic industries very quickly. Every Uber driver, every taxi driver, every trucker is going to be replaced by a self-driving car in the next, 20 years. And those are completely gigantic industries. Every person that works at the till at McDonald's is going to be replaced by a fucking order kiosk. And so when you have a finite amount of jobs in the US especially, and there are people that are currently jobless despite looking for work, despite trying to get a job.
And the jobs they can get are shit and don't pay the bills.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's people.
I literally almost killed myself. It's hell work.
The people that are trying to get a job currently and still can't, like, they're already those types of people. And so if we do not implement basic income, and we would basically be admitting and accepting that we are willing as a society to take all of these people in the automotive industry and service industries who right now America, says, oh yeah, they're hard workers, they've picked themselves up by their bootstraps. We're willing to put those exact same people with the exact same motivation as they always had and put them into the jobless category and not do anything about it and let them just starve to death and not implement any sort of, social programs for them. Like basic income would be a good replacement for things like food stamps, and already in I think it was Utah, there's been places that have tested out basic income related services. Like they decided to give all homeless people a home, and they actually found out that it was less expensive to provide housing for homeless people than it was to keep them homeless. Because, when homeless people need to go to the hospital for like having like gangrene and shit, or like public urination and defecation and like constant arrests and blah 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 blah, like all that shit comes out of people's tax dollars anyway, right? So like there's no way to fully prevent it coming from the taxpayer. But if you do it in a way where you're being more preventative about an issue than trying to solve the issue after it's happened, then it actually costs less. No, Massive Legend, that's not the concept of basic income. You're thinking of communism. It's so think of it this way. Everybody gets like $20,000 a year or whatever, or however much money, and let's just say that that's like the basic baseline for I can afford to live and feed my family and eat food, buy clothes, and everything that you'd be buying for like whatever baseline amount of money is theoretically going to be just like the baseline standard for like I can afford, fine food, like regular stuff from the grocery store, regular clothes, nothing expensive. And so, the motivation would still be there for people, everybody in the workforce, because how many people are going to be fine with just like, oh yeah, shit clothes, shit food? You're going to want to better your own life and better your own circumstances, or at least that's the situation I'm in. I'm not just going to be like, oh yeah, I'm making like a little bit of money, I'm fine. I'm still motivated to do better for myself. And I think most people are too. Will there be people that don't want to work anymore? Yes, of course. There's people like that right now. There's people that are legitimately homeless that just don't want to work, and they have no money, not even basic income, and they still don't want to work. So it's like there are always going to be people like that. But you can't let yourself get in the mindset of like, oh, I had to work for everything, and these people don't have to work. They shouldn't have to. It's like, what are you really trying to solve with that type of mentality? What are you really like? What kind of justice or retribution are you really seeking from that? Because some people are going to get a free, fucking Jaden Smith was born into the Smith family. Like, that's not fair either. But, you can't let yourself just get so upset over that. You can only, it's healthier to look at your life and say, you know what? I want to do better. I want to get a good job and make more than $20,000 a year. I want make a life for myself that's even more comfortable. You know, make it a contest if you really want to. I just don't. You know, the issue with basic income is that it is more of an inevitable necessity than it is an option. You know, like it's literally, economists are very heavily implying that we're fucked if we don't implement it. And that's the issue that we're faced with right now, is we have X amount of people that will not have jobs in the next 20 years, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, we're not going to create jobs for them out of nothing. We're not going to ban self-driving cars or McDonald's kiosks just because it cut away people's jobs. Like, that's stupid. We should have automated machines and self-driving cars, but we should have some sort of a safety net that means that people are not literally starving and dying if they don't have a job. And also, I guess just to finish this off, you know, the economy, an absolute necessity is to have working class, lower income people afford to be able to buy goods and services, because otherwise the economy doesn't circulate, and it's just money that's kept in the bank accounts of billionaires, and it doesn't go anywhere, and then the country's not going to make any money, and you know, the economy's screwed. And so you need to be able to have a consumer class, otherwise the whole country suffers, I believe. I don't know, it seems to be my understanding of it anyway. But that was my little rant. I think it makes sense. I don't know. Feel free to disagree. I just that's my understanding of it at this point.
I do think some people are cynical enough to believe that if people don't work, they just should die off.
Yeah.
So,
you know, like there's, I mean,
no.
You know, people are born into their own situations. Even when you break it down to personality types, you know, you're a product of your environment. And some people just aren't motivated, you know, and it sucks. Like I find myself very lucky and privileged to have a personality type where I actually do shit for myself and get things done. But some people don't have that, and there's no way that they can even change that.
Personally, you know? I don't, but like I have to. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's harder than most people. Like if you have a certain personality type, you have to work harder than most people to do basic things. Yeah. So that's pretty.
I've been wanting to do like YouTube for a long time, but I feel like I'm just crippled by laziness.
Here's what you do.
That's a lot of people's issue.
That, and I can't come up with a fucking name for my channel.
Here's what you do.
Laziness is the ultimate disability.
Here's what you would do. I'm starting out too. I'm no expert. I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall, and I'm only just starting to like finally figure out how to do everything in Vegas Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Find something you like, talk about it. That's really all there is to it. Just at least starting out. Don't care about quality, just make something.
Yeah, I mean, the sooner you get something out, the sooner you can look at what you've made and critique it yourself and improve upon it and find a better way to do it.
Yeah, I want to do like reviews, but
my first videos aren't good.
I'm still starting out, and I think some of my videos are absolute fucking garbage.
I've done a couple, like, you know, speed paints, and I was going to do commentary, but I don't have a good mic, and I didn't enjoy it myself, and so I didn't post it, but I tried to make a little content.
Hello, welcome.
Hi.
We will be shutting down the Hangout in like 15 minutes. You're a little late, but welcome.
Well,
we started.
I just saw the
a while
email.
ago.
I mean, I just kind of wanted to ask, like, how you came up with your channel name and why you picked Precious as your first review.
Well, because it was a movie that a lot of people loved, and I was like, but it's not good, and so you know, it's important to go with opinions that you feel you have a lot to say about, but aren't necessarily just rehashes or recyclings of things that other people are already saying. Because if you're saying things that anyone's saying, then why would someone come to your channel for it? There's already different people saying the exact same thing. What makes your thing special? That doesn't mean fabricate opinions that you don't have to have a unique opinion. That just means find something that is personal to you, and find something that's personal to you that you know that you can provide a unique perspective on. And if you don't have any unique perspectives, then have a unique presentation. You know.
Here's the thing. This is not coming from me. I went to a video game convention. I don't know if anybody here watches Gaijin Goomba or even knows who I'm talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't watch his videos. I'm not a fan of his, but I envy his talent. He does pretty good stuff. So I'm drinking with him, and we're talking about just getting stuff done. Like, how do I do this? And the thing he said is, talk about something that everybody else has been talking about, but bring up a point within that nobody else has mentioned. So what I did recently, I made a video about Animal House. It's something that everybody has talked about. Every college kid has seen it. Did you know that it's about Marxist clash culture?
No.
Culture clash, I mean. Like the rich versus poor.
I still haven't seen it.
It's a good movie, taken at face value, but there's a whole bunch of stuff in there, and I know I sound like I'm pulling things out of my ass, but I provide evidence. I use scholarly text. My point is, if you can prove a point about something that you feel nobody else has been talking about, do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking about reviewing super obscure games that nobody talks about.
I'd watch it.
Like, yeah, but then it's like, who's gonna click on it then?
The 10 people will click on it.
If it's a game I've never heard about, I'd click on it just because I've never heard of it, and maybe it'd be interesting.
My first target is Divinity 2, but not the Divinity 2 people know about. There's like an even older game that nobody fucking talks about. That has like a super similar title and is by the same people and is actually not that bad.
What? I mean, it's just what you like, and if it's something unique, people click on it. Like, I'd click on it just because I don't know what it is and it seems interesting.
Clickbait it.
Yeah,
Clickbait it, yeah.
Clickbait.
Always clickbait.
Use the red circle.
Always put a red circle. Always put an arrow pointing to something. Those are essential.
The arrow pointing to the red circle.
Yeah, so you gotta bait it up. Have all the red things. Everything has to be red.
Boobs in the thumbnail.
Yes, even if there is no female in said property, just add them.
I'm not even thinking about boobs to begin with. But
The title has to be in all caps too.
Always.
It doesn't
Just
count
put your own boobs.
It's not in all caps.
Always put it in all caps. Always use exclamation points. At least several. These are essential tips.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about.
Like to be, not Leafy.
Hey man, Leafy's got some great content.
I've
All
never
that quality, actually, Leafy has dropped off the face of the earth. So
I've genuinely never watched a single one of his videos. I've heard of him, but I never watched it.
When people say a channel's dead like Leafy, it's like, oh no, your channel's dead. It's like, yeah, you're not making as many fucking views as before, but you're still, I mean, fuck. Each video is getting like 200,000 views or whatever, and you're posting like 3 or 4 times a week. So, I mean, you're still making good fucking money.
He's not dead. I just don't think anyone talks about him anymore.
He's not relevant outside of like 13-year-olds. But he never really was in the first place. Until that shit happened. You're right. People were talking about him that honestly shouldn't have been. It's like he wasn't really in anyone's relevancy, but
well, he wasn't
His
until
main
then. All of a sudden,
target was
he started.
13-year-olds. I don't think the people realized that his main target was 13-year-olds.
More like fucking 9-year-olds.
Yeah, so they made fun of him.
His targets were like so much.
So they made fun of him for like, oh my god, the only people that would watch your content are like 10.
Well, I don't think anyone cared until the time when he insulted that autistic person, and then the internet was on his asshole.
My boy Tommy.
No one cared.
Oh yeah.
If you want to see a channel that literally only exists because of clickbait, here I'm going to show you the most viewed videos from this channel. Oh no, it's not Quabblecop.
God damn it!
It's this channel.
He's my hero, you know.
This is lovely. Having sex with me, Latinus. Scott Pilgrim's sexy girlfriend. Safe for work, making babies.
This guy is embarrassing.
No kidding.
What's
wow.
This? Oh no.
Is it
it's a review
Hannah
channel.
Montana singing pen.
It's a review channel?
Yeah. So I have it set to most popular, but you can set it to date added newest. And it's just like a clone of every other.
Yeah, I want to see I want to see the newest.
The most popular one is best porn movies.
He doesn't get any views on videos that aren't like that clickbaity.
Wow.
64 million views.
Like all of these are. Oh wait, shit! I know about this man. What do you mean? I just noticed who the fuck this is.
Yep.
I just noticed who this is. Oh god, I didn't realize it was him.
I don't recognize him though.
He's the guy who used to do the microwave show. That was
Oh, really?
Yes. You pulled this out of your ass. I'm so happy you did.
What do you mean? What do you mean he hasn't uploaded in 5 years? Sort it by date added instead of most viewed.
Yeah, no, he's still uploaded. But yeah, no, I realized this happened because I was watching those videos long ago, recently, and I looked at his channel and I'm like, oh no, it's gone real bad.
Sounded like Mr.
It's been like that for a while.
Oh no, my cat won't poop no more. They told me they wouldn't poop no more. Oh god.
But yeah, no, how
hard time.
How them good quality YouTubers of 2006 fell.
Yeah. Apparently, I was on 4chan the other day. Apparently, a bunch of people are accusing my boy Digibro's channel is dying.
Oh.
I mean, was it ever alive? Because honestly, I
like it.
Well, I mean, liking him and like how healthy was his channel to begin with? He's never had like a shit ton of retention.
The thing is, he only really caught on when Demolition D died, because until Demolition D died, everyone just looked at Demo, and then Demo actually like legitimately.
Digibro was nearing 100,000 subs when Demo was still.
But Demo was like the person you watched in the anime community.
Yeah, I guess I'm not like an anime guy. So
yeah, I'm not. The anime YouTube community is like god awful. But did you? I mean, Demo was actually like funny with it.
I don't know. This doesn't. I don't see his channel as dying.
No, that's shit that I heard, and like he put out a video on his like After Dark channel where it's like, is my channel going down in decline?
Like, it doesn't look like that much of a drop off at all.
Man,
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Anime. I mean, I know he killed his family and all, but
oh damn, dude!
Yeah, Digibro killed his entire family.
No, not Digibro, Trey Sessler, the anime man, where he
Oh, yeah.
where he killed his whole family. And he was about to shoot up a school, but he like turned himself in.
Yeah.
That was
The
wild.
only video I saw of Digibro was the one about Cowboy Bebop, and I saw that because I like Cowboy Bebop a lot.
It's good.
And it was interesting enough. I mean,
I've
it wasn't
seen a
terrible.
few, and my opinion of him started as such, and it was first he was okay, and then as I watched more, I'm like, he's a little bit of an entitled shit, isn't he?
Who?
Digibro.
I don't know.
As he went on, he got more and more pretentious. To me, as a kid watching him, he got really, really fucking pretentious and up his own ass.
He
just became like.
That's actually why I like him, though.
That's almost how I feel about
I find that the people I'm attracted to the most are the people I disagree with everything on. I feel like if I were to watch somebody's content and I agreed with them entirely on everything, I'd get bored because where's the challenge?
Oh no, I've watched plenty of people that don't agree with it
too.
I enjoy Digibro, although I can't say I watch a lot of his content because I'm
I
not,
do
like,
from time to time. I don't like his like philosophical content he makes on his.
His After Dark channel is better than his main channel, at least in my opinion. The best video he ever made was his gigantic drunk explanation of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Seriously, I think that's his best video. It's like the video he put the least thought into.
Well, you know, sometimes
He's
that's
a guy, though. I admire his talent. I never got Forbes.
Heads up, we're going to stop the hangout in the next few minutes. Are there any questions from people that they would like to ask before we shut this down? It's been a good 3 hours of hangout. Any questions or comments? Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I gotta ask. I think I remember you once saying you didn't like Mulholland Drive.
I don't think I did say that.
I think.
Quote me, faggot.
Damn, dude.
Damn, did I get burnt? Here's the thing. I shot on your taste this time. Last time, I should say, because I was Mr. Aaron Aronofsky hater, and I still feel guilt over that.
Don't beat yourself up over it.
I think I once heard whispers down the lane that you had a few problems with Mulholland Drive. You only gave it like what, a 7 out of 10 on that
let's see
on
what I gave
IMDb.
it. Well, I mean,
want to know your problem with
didn't we just have a conversation about 7 out of 10s and how they're actually good ratings? And
they're fine ratings. I just want to understand why it's like not anything less than a 10 out of 10.
Because a movie can be really,
That's
really
a strange
phenomenal.
question to ask.
Fine.
That's an unreasonable question. It's like,
what?
I mean,
you can't like, why isn't it a 10 out of 10? Why isn't every movie a 10 out of 10?
No, and just in your book. Just in your book, what keeps it from being perfect?
It's not about keeping it from being perfect. It's about whether or not it impresses me to the point where it's a 10. You know,
What is your rating?
It would have, 10. I mean, it's not. It's good. I enjoy it a lot. I just
gotcha.
I'm not the biggest fan of like weird, also random when it's like purposeless and the director's literally just saying, well, it could mean anything, you know. So
true.
I'm not like a big fan of that kind of stuff, but the movie as a whole I really liked.
The thing about Mulholland Drive is that he says it could be anything, but honestly, I really do believe that there are scenes that he just threw in there just because he could, and for one reason. Mulholland Drive is set up as a murder mystery movie, but the mystery is not the murder. The mystery is the movie itself. You're the detective. You got to solve it. And within a detective story, a Pulp Fiction or like any film noir from the 1940s, there's going to be like a lot of red herrings, a lot of things that don't make sense, a lot of things that are irrelevant. Watch The Big Sleep. It's a movie that's built on that. The Big Lebowski is built on it. And I think Mulholland Drive is built on it too. Like, it just plays with your expectations so much. And that's one of the reasons why it's fantastic.
I mean, a movie I thought was better that is also vastly more open to interpretation is actually the movie I discovered Adam through, I'm pretty sure, which is Enemy. Because Enemy is a fucking phenomenal movie, but it doesn't ever actually fully say what the hell it's about. You just have to look into it and tear into it yourself and interpret it.
I don't think I've ever questioned someone on why they don't think something's a 10.
I mean, especially if it's a movie that's open to interpretation as well, because like you interpret it your own way. Even regardless, like any movie, even my favorite movies, I would never say, "Why don't you think it's a 10?" Because for it to be a 10 to someone, I mean, like it would have to have some sort of like personal significance too, right? You can't. A movie could be perfect, like objectively perfect in every way, but that doesn't mean that everybody should think it's a 10.
I actually made a video saying the same thing. Like, I think American Hustle is perfect. It's an 8 out of 10, but it's perfect. I think the first Lord of the Rings movie, it's very, very flawed. Fellowship of the Ring is a very, very, very flawed movie. I would still give it a 10 out of 10 just based on the fact that there was so much risk and ambition put forth that like I can easily I will forgive nitpicks and minor errors just so long as they don't accumulate into a giant mountain.
All right. Do we got more final questions and comments from other people in this chat? Perhaps John or Bobby or...
I am tempted to ask. You didn't really answer this on Reddit, but I'm weirdly, morbidly curious about why you gave Proud Family a 1.
Well, I mean, because that's I think I rated that when I was like 16. Where I was flipping through channels, I'm like, this is dumb, and I just gave it a 1.
Okay.
So, unless I make a video on it, don't treat my IMDb ratings very seriously.
It was just curiosity.
I had that IMDb account for like 12 years. So
12 years in IMDb account, an Oscar-winning movie.
Some questions in the chat. I saw The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman. It was really good.
That's a great
movie. Persona, but I was really drunk, so I'd have to see it again. I haven't seen Unforgiven yet.
Watch it.
I'm looking forward to it. Any more questions from people?
I have the most important question. When are you going to review all the Medea movies? Franchise.
I don't want to watch them.
Adam, we need. It's important.
Just watch one, please.
Just watch Boo. I want to know why Nick Spears likes it.
Watch
pay you to make that. I will pay you
Just watch one.
Watch Brad Jones.
Money at that project.
I don't want to.
Read the transcript.
Just read the transcripts of the Medea movies. I can't imagine there's much there in the script, to be honest with you.
Oh my god.
Did
anyone ever see the Boondocks Theory of the
John, wait, hold up.
I was just gonna say, in your Blade Runner video, you said your opinion might change on it, and you said it was like between a 9 and a 10. I was just wondering if you had anything to add as a follow-up to that now that it's been a little while.
I still don't think it's a 10.
Right.
I might love it as much as I love other 10s, but it's still a 9 for me. I love it.
All right. Yeah, it's a great movie. I've been trying to get to watch more of Denis' movies. Like, I have Sicario sitting here, but I haven't watched it yet.
Sicario is probably my least favorite one he's made, aside from Polytechnique. But Sicario is still really good. All right, what is happening here, Bobby? Do you have a question, Bobby?
Sorry, am I being loud?
Yeah, a little bit.
Loud, that's fine. Do you have a question? No?
No question.
No, sorry.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Liam Alexander, I've explained this one like 800 times, so somebody else explain it. to William Alexander.
What?
Why Apocalypse Now is a 6 on my IMDb. Like, I haven't made a video on it. Don't take it seriously. Like, it shouldn't even be a question, but I've explained this 800 times.
So I told you about the Proud Family one. It was just the show was
no worries.
I was just curious.
Specifically, the Apocalypse Now one I've explained a billion times. Anyway, anybody else got any questions or comments before we shut her down?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
I think we're good. Thank you for doing the stream.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for your patronage and thank you for joining.
Of course.
We recorded a YMS movie commentary yesterday, so we'll see when that comes out. It was a good movie, but I'll keep it a secret. Anyway, thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna get some editing done.
Good or bad?
Oh, you'll see.
I can only hope it's just awful.
It's a good one.
Damn it.
It was a good pick.
Okay.
That couldn't mean either.
Good.
Enjoyable good or good?
It was a good choice for a commentary video, is what I'll say.
Okay.
Those tend to be shitty movies. By shitty, I mean the best quality movies. Top notch.
Anyway, thank you guys so much. I will peace out. I will get some editing done.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.